Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
Back-to-back best sports talk hosts as voted on in the Pitch magazine.
Live from the Van Studios. Here's C-Dot.
No C-Dot today. Jay Binkley with Rob Brinton. What's going on, Rob? I don't know if you know this or not, but I'm sure the beer community will chime in on this. You know the Oktoberfest has already hit the shelves, right? So not only do you have this going on, but now everybody in the world's buying Netflix so can watch Happy Gilmore 2 with Travis Kelce in it. Even got a phone call from my mom earlier, a text earlier actually. Said, how do I get Netflix? Do I just call? Who do I need to call? I said, just wait on it. I'll get there. I'll set up your password. I'll get you all set up on it. So even she wants to get Netflix because of Happy Gilmore 2. But anyway, that beer stuff, Rob, I know you're a fan of beer. And I know you enjoy drinking beer and watching English Premier League, usually on the weekends. Are you a fan of Oktoberfest? Because every time I brought one in here, you seem to have liked it.
I like a nice Oktoberfest. I don't know I like it in July. I think when it's 100 degrees out with a humidity of 92%, it doesn't feel like Oktoberfest weather to me, but I do like Oktoberfest beer.
Well, you're being a little picky, Rob. And you know what? It's got to be drank at some time. You know, they finished producing it at the end of May, 1st of June, and it just sits there, man. And it used to sit there till September, mid-September, but it was just sitting there. Then all of a sudden, I started putting it out the last week of July. Well, first of all, it came out in August, and then they started moving to July. It's already hitting the shelves, man. I heard from Boulevard the other night, and they're like, hey, we're putting Bob's 47 on the shelves now. So I called a couple liquor stores, and boom, they have it. The text line was full on this, man. Shocker. Beer and football goes together. Like, sports fans like beer. I mean, I know there's surveys that tell us this, Rob, but the sports fans do like beer. But the Happy Gilmore and Travis Kelce in earnest today. What do you think the Netflix subscriptions from Kansas City will be? You think people just stay with it?
I don't know if you're going to see a spike locally, because I imagine Netflix is already one of the more popular ones people have, right?
Oh, it is. It is.
So, I mean, I don't know you'll see a bump just because it's already such a thing that exists already in the zeitgeist.
I think a lot of people might have gone away from it, though, after the Chiefs and
I think
Christmas Day. Even though they don't need it. If you're a Chiefs fan, you don't need it because the local stations will pick up the game.
I think the NFL going to Netflix has people on Netflix all the time.
Okay. I think hardcore sports fans would be, if they want to watch the quarterback series and everything else would be there. But I think the, just your, average fan that likes the Kansas City Chiefs will be buying it today. Or at least borrowing it or going to someone's house that has Happy Gilmore. But I wanted to talk about what kind of is the biggest surprise. Well, it's not a surprise. The training camp, the wide receivers. Were you enamored with the wide receivers last year? Because, all right, it was a good room. I'll acknowledge it was a good room until the injuries happened, right? And then all of a sudden, Mahomes is 15 in points per game in the NFL. And all of a sudden, his over-under on touchdowns set at 27.5. It was all down last year because everybody was hurt. And then Xavier Worthy, being a first-round pick, had to step up and be the dude. And he even said, acknowledged it took a while to get acclimated to the system, time and space on the sideline, whatever, catching the football. But he got better and better. But that wasn't the plan initially. The plan initially was for Hollywood Brown, who was a veteran in the National Football League, a very fast receiver at 4.28, was going to be that guy. And to be honest with you, it's a lot of the same skill set as Xavier Worthy. It's probably why Hollywood was only going to be here for 1 year. Then the injury happens. He ends up back with the Kansas City Chiefs. Funny how that happens, but it did. It's actually advantageous for the Chiefs to have Hollywood back. Well, you have Rashee Rice. Then you had that injury against the Chargers in Game 4. And things quickly changed, and all of a sudden, Mahomes doesn't have his go-to guys. Matter of fact, the Kansas City Chiefs were second to last last year in air yards, 25 yards or more. 6 times they went 25 yards or more through the air. So things had to change for the Chiefs in the wide receiver room, and Xavier Worthy did step up. Led this team in yards and receptions throughout the postseason. He got over 150 yards in the Super Bowl. I get it, a lot of garbage time, but still he did it. And Xavier Worthy kept getting better and better, kind of disproving the theories that he was too small to play in the National Football League. The Chiefs just liked his 4.21 speed that he had at the Combine, the all-time record. They were enamored by that. But they've gradually kind of acclimated this wide receiver room, sprinkled in talent like Verner Royals that Andy Reid likes at this point. Smart dude. He's been, throwing in the installs for the different packages on offense. But the wide receiver room, I think, is going to be interesting because, looking at some of these camp guys and what they're saying from, around the NFL. And by the way, NFL Network this weekend they're at every camp, and they've got specials on Saturday and Sunday. And I get it, the Chiefs don't practice on Saturday, but Sunday, NFL Network will be out there spotlighting the Chiefs, kind of doing live reports. But CBS, they said, hey, the biggest camp takeaway from the Chiefs is throwing the ball downfield. And it's like, well, shouldn't be a shock when you have a quarterback like Patrick Mahomes and 4.21 receiver and Xavier Worthy, 4.28 receiver in Hollywood Brown. By the way, Taekwon Thornton, it's getting a lot of run right now, 4.28 guy as well. Actually ran a 4.21 at the combine until they readjusted it back to a 4.28. But for a while, he thought he beat John Ross's record. But they're a speed team, and they've been throwing it down. But that's the St. Joe Chiefs. Last year, training camp was the St. Joe Chiefs. Everything on X that you saw, every video that was put out for the Chiefs, Instagram, Twitter, X, whatever you want to call it, was about the Chiefs, spreading it out. And you see it now. Xavier Worthy gets an 80-yard touchdown. Chiefs put it out on social media. Everybody does. And everybody talks about, wow. Which, again, costing yourself because guys are wearing shorts this time of year. But speed does translate, even the pads, so they are fast. And throwing the ball downfield is a great thing. Of course, it's going to take timing as well. It's going to take the offensive line to give Mahomes time to throw the football down the field as well. But this is all they've been talking about. It's all they've been talking about is throwing the football down the field. Matter of fact, the other day, Patrick Mahomes at training camp had this to say about kind of the way this offense is going to go.
Yeah, I think that for me, I got to be better at throwing the ball down the field. I mean, obviously, that we weren't good enough there. We've had success in prior years, but these last few years we haven't done that. And in order for our offense to be great, you have to be able to complete those passes. It opens up everything else. And so if teams are going to challenge us at the line of scrimmage, if teams are going to challenge us to throw the ball deep, we have to show that we can do that. And if we can do that, it first starts with me and giving guys chances. But if we can do that, I think it's going to really open up the offense and make us a better team in general.
Well, it will. It'll change things around. Safety, can't creep up to the line of scrimmage like they did a lot last year. Even at going too high safety across the middle, the damage that Rashee Rice and Travis Kelce can do in the middle of the field, much different. But it changes the whole complexion of the offense if you're able to throw the ball downfield. Again, that safety doesn't creep up. Your running game gets better, and it's just all better for the offense. Good in theory, but Patrick's right. They were 31st in the NFL in air yards thrown down the field. They just didn't do it. They were, to borrow a Hank Stram phrase, matriculating the ball down the field. Second 3, 3rd and 4, whatever it was. I mean, they were just finding a way to move the football without those explosive plays. And really, that's how they're built. They're built with speed at wide receivers. You've got an offensive coordinator it's offensive coordinator Matt Nagy, but we all know Andy Reid calls the plays. But this is what they do. Even Xavier Worthy, when he was on with Cody and Gold yesterday at camp, had this to say.
Right, a lot of them just really smart and really into that. But all of us are showing good effort. All of us are really a team, and we're really bonded in a room. We're having celebrations, creative celebrations as a unit, just having fun out there.
And that's with this group of receivers. And you got this quarterback like Mahomes. Again, you only have this guy one time. I mean, you might have another quarterback. I doubt you're going to have a guy like Patrick Mahomes. I doubt you're going to have a guy that goes to 7 straight AFC title games as a starter. It just doesn't happen. It hadn't happened in the NFL. So it is a rare type of thing. And I go back even to Andy Reid at the mandatory minicamp, which I think is probably the biggest endorsement of the Chiefs wide receivers this year, was what he had to say at minicamp before training camp even started.
You're not going we were teaching everything, getting out of the huddle, the snap count. That's where we started with some of these guys last year. So, it allows you to jump start, line up in all these crazy formations. So you had to kind of back up on some of that stuff. And it's things that as the season went on, we were able to expand a little bit and then hit it running here.
So translation, he can hit it now. He can put his foot on the gas now. He didn't have to wait until everybody kind of knows what they're doing. He's got a complex offense. He can hit it now. Now, the only new guy to the group, so to speak, that they count on, I get it, Taekwon Thornton, but he was here last year, the last 2 months of the season on the practice squad anyway, so we got acclimated to what they do in practice, was Jalen Royals, their wide receiver pickup this year in the NFL draft, and this is what Andy Reid thought about Jalen Royals.
He looks like he's very smart because we're in our third install here today, and we load him up with plays early, and he's been able to retain a lot of the things the newer stuff that we introduced to him before, and the new stuff we've introduced now. So that's a good sign. And then he's made some catches. You've seen it out here. He's made some catches, and does he have a long way to go? Yeah, well, he's got to keep working and work through all of this, and we'll see how it goes when everything's flying.
But again, smart guy with Jalen Royals. You've heard this around a lot. And, to be honest with you, Brett Veach with his draft, there is a reason why they drafted the players they did. Jalen Royals, extremely cerebral. Xavier Worthy, the year before, you're talking about a former academic All-Big 12, a guy that blew Andy Reid away with what he was doing with not only what receivers were doing in formations, but what everybody else was doing as well. Omar Norman Lott was number one in win rate getting to the quarterback on defense, even though he's in rotation in Tennessee. You see why they got him. Ashton Gelati led college football as far as pressures. He led the ACC in sacks 2 years ago. There's a rhyme or reason. Noah Williams, that got some run with the ones today at corner, led the nation in interceptions. Not only that, he picked off Cam Ward when Miami played Cal this year. So, translation, there's a rhyme and reason why they grab the players they do. You got to be smart. You got to think on your feet. And not only that, you got to be mature. You got to be able to handle it, because you're going to be thrown into a locker room with a bunch of dudes that have played more football than anybody else in the National Football League. That's what happens. You go to the AFC title game and or the Super Bowl every single damn year. The Chiefs' core has played more football. They've played a full season longer than anybody else in the NFL because of all the postseason games. Patrick Mahomes has racked up 17 postseason wins now. You don't do that by not getting to the playoffs. That's number 2 all time. 21-year stretch. Remember that? Babies are born, sitting in a bar, being able to drink beer legally in the span of 21 years where the Chiefs didn't win a playoff game. Things are different now. The expectations are different now. The training wheels are off. You get thrown into this team, you're expected to go. It's expected to be go time. Remember training camp this year, which started this day 4? They didn't even have rookies and quarterbacks show up a couple days early. That's been the standard for every Andy Reid training camp, and honestly, it's been that way for most camps in the NFL where rookies and quarterbacks show up early. They didn't do that this year. They went straight full team as soon as it started on the first day of practice on Tuesday. Just boom, the whole team showed up there. But these wide receivers and throwing ball downfield, that's the key to bringing the Chiefs offense back to the Chiefs offense. For years, you saw that great offense, and you saw in 2018 where Mahomes threw for 5,000 yards and over 50 touchdowns. They lost the game when they scored 50 points. They lost the game when they scored 40 points. And then we saw the rise of the defense. Now, can you imagine both being in sync at the same time? Can you imagine the defense being good with the offense at the same time? Because the offense was middle of the road. They're middle of the pack the last 2 years in the National Football League. They won a bunch of one-score games. But a lot of that was due to injuries they had and basically revolving door at left tackle. Hence, the Chiefs' offense couldn't exactly be what the Chiefs' offense is supposed to be. It's kind of like watching the Royals, right? They're number 2 in Major League Baseball in ERA, team ERA. Well, they can't hit. Well, they have been since the All-Star break. That's a different story, but that's been the story of the Royals so far. They have an elite pitching staff, but no hitting to go with it. It's like football. You need that good offense, explosive offense with that defense to go along with it. But I'll be honest with you, Rob, it's not like they don't have like a Justin Jefferson or Jamar Chase in this receiving room, but this receiving room is damn good if they can stay healthy.
That's the $1,000,000 question. And we also know,
but
on top of the health, we know Rashee Rice is going to get suspended at some point.
That's right.
Let's just say 2 to 6. Let's create a nice wide window. So it's not an injury, but at some point this season, this wide receiver room is going to go through not having their number 1 guy, because the anticipation is, while not via injury, Rashee Rice is going to miss time. I also think at some point Hollywood Brown's going to miss time, because Hollywood Brown seems to always miss time. That's what happens.
He does.
So there is a larger depth of talent in this room this year, but I feel like if we rewound the clocks 365 days ago, I'm betting on July 25th, 2024, we were talking about the depth of talent in the room, and then by the end of camp, it was, the room looks a little dicey because of injury and all the things that transpired.
That's the key, too, because when Rice is out, because you're right, he's going to get suspended, don't have injuries during that time. Because all of a sudden, if Rice is out and you have an injury to one of your top receivers, things change, man. Things change real quickly. You're on thin ice as far as dealing through the suspension. And then you got the camp battles at the bottom end, the receivers like Nico Remigio that the coaching staff absolutely loves. You got Taekwon Thornton trying to be on this roster. I think the Chiefs ended up keeping 7 wide receivers like they have the last 2 years. They only kept 5 3 years ago, 7 the last 2 years. We'll see what happens. But, again, when you're dealing with the suspension, you got to have health. Guys have to be healthy to withstand what they're going to go through with Rashee Rice. But that's not the only storyline. It's one of the interesting storylines and something fun to watch in St. Joe. But the offensive line and Josh Simmons and Jalen Moore, Jawan Taylor, Kingsley Suamati at guard. Yeah, there's some storylines with the Chiefs' offensive line. To be honest with you, I think it's number 1 and 2 for what to watch in St. Joe.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Watch the show on YouTube by subscribing to the 965 YouTube channel. The Drive, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 965, The Fan.
Headed out for a summer getaway? Make your airport parking a breeze with Casey's favorite, Park and Go. All spots are covered so your car stays cool and protected while you're soaking up the sun. Hop on a quick air-conditioned shuttle that picks you up right at your car and drops you off at the terminal. Always the best service, always the best price. Reserve now at bookparkandgo.com. Open 24/7. Fast, easy, and stress-free. Park and Go, family owned and operated, and proud to be part of your summer travel plans.
Are you in need of top quality metal for your next project? Look no further than Metal by the Foot. Whether you're a DIY enthusiast, contractor, or business owner, Metal by the Foot has the perfect solution for you. Steel, aluminum, brass, and stainless. The Foot. Blue Demon Welding Supplies, filler rods, and wire. The Foot. Cronius Professional Welding Equipment, Service and Repairs. The Foot. Located in KC and Topeka. Online at metalbythefoot.com. When you need a piece of metal, remember, metal doesn't have to cost an arm or a leg, just the foot.
It's the summer sales event at Robside Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Robside joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure. No gimmicks at Robside Ford. It's the way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Robside Ford.
135th and State Line or robsighc.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Robside Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
At Casey's, we're too nice to say no. So when someone asked for a free frozen drink, we said, sure. Then they said, every Friday all summer? And, well, now we're giving away free medium frozen drinks every Friday. Free Frozen Fridays with Casey's Rewards. It's not crazy, it's Casey's. See store for details.
Home title theft. It's on the rise, and it's devastating if it happens to you. Listen to the alarming words of an actual home title thief.
I don't need to know your date of birth and social security number. All I have to do is go to public records, create a document, and file that document. And then I can borrow against the house or sell the house. You may have no clue until you find out that your house has been sold or till several loans or several banks are foreclosing on you.
For pennies a day, Home Title Lock puts a virtual barrier of protection around your home's title with 24/7 monitoring. The instant they detect any tampering, you'll get an alert. And that's bad news for home title thieves. So when's the last time you checked on the title to your home? Find out if you're already a victim with your free title scan and complete title report. $100 value free with sign up. Just go to HomeTitleLock.com and sign up in minutes. That's HomeTitleLock.com. HomeTitleLock.com.
Hey, what's up, flies? This is David Spade.
Dana Carvey.
Look, I know we never actually left, but I'll just say it. We are back with another season of Fly on the Wall.
Every episode, including ones with guests, will now be on video. Every Thursday, you'll hear us and see us chatting with big-name celebrities.
And every Monday, you're stuck with just me and Dana. We react to news, what's trending, viral clips.
Follow and listen to Fly on the Wall everywhere you get your podcasts.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Subscribe to 96.5 The Fan on YouTube to watch the show from wherever you are.
And welcome back, Jay Bentley, Rob Bretton. Guess what, Rob? We actually have training camp news again, right? And this is just different than players walking in with oscillating fans. Like the other day, we saw T.J. Watt walking into the dorms with a fan, which is really interesting because that was just groundbreaking. Well, the Vikings tweeted out that head coach Kevin O'Connell has announced that Justin Jefferson has a mild hamstring strain and he will be held out of practice. Jefferson will be reevaluated next week. See, Rob, it's that crap right there. Like, it just shows you what can happen to fast wide receivers, right? You just never know. You know what I'm saying? You just never know what can freaking happen. And granted, he may not miss any time. He may not miss a game, so it doesn't really matter what happens with Justin Jefferson. But, again, the Chiefs don't have that Justin Jefferson type, but they're looking for that type. And I'll tell you this much, Rashee Rice is well on his way to having one of the better seasons in the NFL until he was hurt last year. But the main thing now that has everybody buzzing is Josh Simmons, the first-round pick of the Chiefs, who is an interesting story, to be honest with you. The other night, I was sitting here thinking, all right, what are Brett Veach's top 3 moves as a GM? And I whittled it down to a few. I think that Parker Anger for Charvarius Ward, they trade with the Cowboys, was one of his best moves. The Orlando Brown deal that came over with Nick Bolton as well because he got picked 58 in the draft. So he essentially got a left tackle and Nick Bolton for a situation, whether you like Orlando Brown or not, it doesn't really matter. They had to have a left tackle because Trent Williams didn't want to come to Kansas City, and they tried. And that didn't work, but they had to have a left tackle, so they get one from their rivals. And they get pick 58 to turn to Nick Bolton. End of story. Gets contract extension this year. You know how good he's been with this team. But the number one, I said, was Harrison Butker. Because in 2017, when Cairo Santos got hurt, they had to get a kicker. And so they go to the Panthers. They had Graham Gano. And then Harrison Butker was drafted by him in the 7th round, was put on the practice squad. And, of course, you know the way the rules work. If you're on the practice squad, you get poached. You got to be put on the 53-man roster. That's what the Chiefs did with Harrison Butker because Tobe and Veach liked him through the combine and the draft process. So Harrison Butker ends up a Chief in 2017. The rest is history. He's made clutch kicks, done everything. I don't think they have some of the rings they do without some of his kicks. So that was number one. But number one that could be is if Simmons works out at left tackle and he's a stud. Because that is schooling the rest of the National Football League that is starving for left tackles. That is a premium in the NFL draft. And to have a left tackle that could be a dude on your team for a couple contracts, that's the ultimate. That's what everybody wants, is that stalwart left tackle. I think it's one of the 4 most important positions in football. But Josh Simmons probably would have been left tackle 1. Now, he hasn't seen live action. That's where you got to kind of caution yourself. You got to caution yourself. He's in shorts now. And again, I thought no rush on it because you got him for 4 years and 5th-year extension, so 5 years for Josh Simmons. He hasn't seen live action since that Oregon game last year with Ohio State back in October, where he hurt the patellar tendon. He never faced really elite pass rushers except for Mike Green. Only 2 snaps in last season he faced him. I hadn't seen a lot of live action. So, yes, he's been at left tackle. To start off with, they moved Jalen Moore over to right tackle because Juwan Taylor is on the PUP list, and he's probably quick to come back from that. Now, again, minicamp is in shorts. OTAs were in shorts. So far, training camp has been in shorts, and you don't play football in shorts. Matter of fact, it's much different. It's much different when live action, bullets start flying, live action. It's just much different with the physicality when you can start hitting people and knocking them to the ground. And guys trying to earn a roster spot, trying to beat you. So things happen. We'll see that Sunday. Sunday is pad day. Chiefs will put on the pads Sunday. They're off tomorrow. Rest up for the Chiefs. Actually, it's going to be a great day. I know somebody said they're going to go to training camp Sunday. I was like, man, go. It's going to be perfect. You know, they've been in nothing but shorts. They get the day off Saturday. They put those pads on. That always brings some more energy and juice to a team. Doing that Sunday, coming in after a day off, man, it's going to be awesome. That is the day to go. And not only that, but they were asking me about the autographs because if you go to the Chiefs, they have different groups sign autographs each day, like defensive linemen, offensive linemen, running back groups, whatever, quarterbacks or the receivers, whatever. But it's full team. It is full team autograph session on Sunday, which is unusual and doesn't happen that often. So there's a lot of reasons to get yourself up to St. Joe, up I-29 on Sunday to watch Chiefs camp that day, and it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun to watch Josh Simmons with pads on. Is Jalen Moore make his way back? It'll take a little bit longer. Or not Jalen Moore, but Juwan Taylor. Jalen Moore, who they brought in from San Francisco to be the left tackle, kind of battling out with Josh Simmons. He's been at right tackle because Juwan's been out, which that's kind of who and what he is. He's a versatile dude. He went to Western Michigan. Sky Moore's teammate there was at Western Michigan. He was recruited in high school as a tight end. So that kind of shows you his athletic ability and ability to move outside the pocket because he is a converted tight end. So that bodes well, but he's a left tackle by trade. So we'll see what happens there. So I'm looking forward to that. But the Josh Simmons things, I get it, man. People are excited. I guess get excited because a lot of times Andy Reid's not that wishy-washy. Now, a little bit at left tackle last year because it was Wanya Morris, then boom, it was Kingsley. So there is some interpretation at left tackle. The guard situation in center, man, once he makes that decision, that's fine. I remember Trey Smith. People were wondering, is he going to be a starter or not? Day one of training camp at St. Joe, the 6th-round pick, Trey Smith, installed as a starter. Never forget, Mitch Holthus was on with us that weekend. He goes, I wouldn't be surprised at all to see Trey Smith at guard. Then, boom, as soon as they started practice, he was. But that is definitely good news that Josh Simmons is there at left tackle. Because he would have been left tackle one. Let's face it, he would have been. But if he ends up panning out and it works out, Rob, and this guy gets to Pro Bowl, and we'll forget about Pro Bowl, all-pro level, that will go down as Brett Veach's best move. I mean, I like Butker, I like Orlando Brown, these other moves that they made. That would be number one.
Well, yeah, I mean, positional value is the key there. I mean,
100%. It's more than a kicker.
Kicker's probably on the lowest on the positional value chart,
but someone that's made a difference.
He's made a difference, but obviously Simmons. I think Trent McDuffie is failing to be on your list because Trent McDuffie is the best corner on this team and is going to be very well paid, and they found him late in the first round.
And they jumped Buffalo. And they jumped Buffalo to get him.
The reason they got him was the Tyreek Hill trade. You could argue that the Tyreek Hill trade was the best moves they ever made because it opened up the window to create a move to go get Trent McDuffie. So I would have McDuffie at 1 and potentially Simmons in that conversation, but that's largely due to positional value. I wouldn't have Bolton in this conversation yet. I don't think Bolton's in this sphere yet. I think it's Humphrey and possibly Simmons and McDuffie. I think those are the top moves.
And see part of the reason, too, because Tyrann Mathieu just retired, so he's kind of in the news. Andy Reid was asked about him and stuff like that, because that did make a difference with the defense. Not going to give him all the credit because it was Mahomes that won the Super Bowl, but he did kind of help change around the attitude and culture of the defense. Not only that, I looked at Tyrann Mathieu as kind of a trendsetter. He was kind of before his time because now everything changed. Because nowadays, when you go to combine, can you play inside? Can you play outside? Basically, can you be Shamari Connor? It's a safety by trade, but he's been playing nickelback with the Chiefs. He can do both. So that's kind of been the Honey Badger role. Honey Badger really brought that to life in the NFL. So I give him credit for kind of being a trendsetter, what teams look for at the combine in the way they go ahead and draft players. But, yeah, that's going to work. But the other one, too, to me, and a big one, is left guard, Kingsley Suamataia. I really want to see Kingsley with the pads in live action. Yeah, you get to see it there the last week of the season against the Denver Broncos. But Kingsley's a big dude. Kingsley also can move for that size. There's a reason why Kingsley, a lot of people thought, could have maybe even been a first-round pick last year. Ends up going a second, looked like a home run for the Chiefs. He was going to be the Chiefs' left tackle until he wasn't. Because, again, things look fine when you're in shorts, and then all of a sudden you get in there with live action. Guess what? Things do change. Kingsley proved that last year, how quickly things can change with prospects in the National Football League getting a nod at what? Left tackle. Things change quickly. But that set the Chiefs back, too. I mean, make no mistake about it. Kingsley not working out at left tackle, it set the Chiefs back. No other way to look at it. He's been moved to guard. If he works out, that's great. But remember, he's replacing a first-team All-Pro in Joe Thuney. Yeah, I get that Joe Thuney didn't exactly look great in the Super Bowl at left tackle, but he's not a tackle. And he kind of carried that throughout the postseason for the Chiefs at tackle, but he's not. He's a shorter arm guy. He's a guard by trade, and that's where his best position is, but he's one of the best. He's one of the best the league's seen. He's that good. So Kingsley's stepping into big shoes trying to fill the role of Joe Thuney. So that's very important because we know this right side of the line probably going to look the same. Jawan Taylor, Trey Smith, Creed Humphrey. It's going to look the same. A lot the same. The only difference is that left side. The left side makes all the difference between the Chiefs, because the Chiefs, they've got 3 All-Pros, or no, 3 Pro Bowlers, because Trey Smith's not an All-Pro yet. He will be, but he's the highest paid guard in the National Football League. But Creed Humphrey's first-team All-Pro. And we'll see what Kingsley can do, because that's the important thing. Because they did set him back because they thought they had their tackle in the second round last year. Didn't work out. So guess what they had to do? Go first round again with the tackle, because Kingsley didn't exactly work out. So that cost them, because that could have been a first-round pick on another position that could have maybe helped the Chiefs in the future going forward. So they spent 2 very high picks on left tackle the last 2 years, plus spent some good free agency money on Jalen Moore, which it didn't kill the Chiefs that much, because they were expecting the salary cap to be about $270 million, actually $279.2 million. But, yeah, there's no other way to look at it than Kingsley did set them back because of how they had to spin the pick at left tackle. But with Kingsley out there, and though it's going to be Jalen Moore or Josh Simmons at left tackle again, I really want to see what happens when the pads are on, because I think that makes all the difference in the world for the Kansas City Chiefs offensive line. And Andy Reid, back at mandatory minicamp, he kind of, talked about that. He kind of talked about the fact, let's wait and see. Let's caution what we're doing with things. Let's wait and see what happens when the pads go on, because things get different when you put the pads on and the expectations. What are you expecting, Rob? Because I know we probably differ on this a little bit. Do you think Andy Reid is set in his ways right now, and it's going to be Simmons? Moore's your swing tackle. Left tackle Simmons, right tackle Jawan Taylor. Jalen Moore just kind of fits in for injury or whatever.
I think they are going to give Josh Simmons, and now that we know he's healthy, this is the big story. Like, his health is the big story. That was a conversation around the draft. It was a conversation, after he was picked. It was a conversation at OTAs, a conversation everywhere. What was his health? We now know his health's good. Creed Humphrey said his health looks good. He's been practicing in full. His health is good. Now that we know his health is good, I think the Chiefs are going to give him every opportunity to fail. I think he is going to be your starting left tackle until they think, we can't do it. And I don't think that moment is coming for Joshua Simmons. I think he's shown when healthy he was a good left tackle. So I think it's going to be Simmons, Suamataia, Humphrey, Smith, and I think it's going to be Jawan Taylor in week 1. I think Jalen Moore is a 2-year, $20 million insurance policy. I think what they realized last year when Kingsley didn't work out and then subsequently Wanye didn't work out is we need to have a better backup plan than let's hope against hope and scheme it up so we can survive in advance. And Jalen Moore is that guy. You've seen that was what he was last year. He was Trent Williams' backup. He was not the starter in San Francisco. He was Trent Williams' backup. You give him a bunch of money. You make him your swing guard. Maybe if Jawan Taylor, struggles or something, you can make him your right tackle. Like, you have some flexibility there. But I think when the Chiefs head to Sao Paulo, it is Simmons at left tackle unless things in camp go really, really wrong, because they want him to be the left tackle.
How much faith do you have in that left side? Because clearly, you look at the Chiefs, yes, up front, they have some studs, man. Again, Creed Humphrey and Trey Smith are the 2 highest paid players at their position. Creed's the highest paid center in the National Football League. Trey Smith's the highest paid guard. They couldn't get a 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1. And a lot of that does hinge upon your left side. Patrick Mahomes needs more time to throw. Again, second to last in air yards down the field. So do you have faith in that? I guess you have to put blind faith, right? It's blind faith at this point because you don't 100% know if Kingsley's going to work out. And you don't know if Josh Simmons is going to work out either. It's just blind faith.
I have a lot more faith in Josh Simmons than Kingsley Suamataia. And I think everything I just said about left tackle is a fear the Chiefs should have at left guard. Maybe Kingsley's good. I don't think they need him to be a star. I don't think they need him to be an all-pro. They just need him to be good. But I think there's fear there. Now, Mike Caliendo was league average, suitable, whatever you want to say.
He's like an Allegretti type,
He was whatever last year, so they have a little bit of an insurance policy. But I think the Chiefs in the offseason upgraded at left tackle and may have downgraded severely at left guard. I have way more concerns about guard on the left side than I do at tackle on the left side.
I do too. I'm concerned about that too. That's a huge part. And again, you don't want to be predictable on what you're doing on 3rd and 1 and 4th and 1. You don't automatically all the time want to run behind Trey Smith. I get it. You want to do it. You saw what happened to the Buffalo Bills when they decided to do quarterback sneaks on the same side every time they did it. You saw what happened. The Chiefs stopped it, and it cost the Bills a chance to move on. because they were predictable in what they did. You don't want that to happen. You want Kingsley Suamataia to be a road grader. You want the ability to run on 3rd and 1 or 4th and 1 on the left side or the right side. It's pick your poison. You don't want the defense gearing up to they're going behind Trey Smith. Like, that is not what you want to see. But, yeah, it's incredibly important. And right now it's blind faith. But remember back in minicamp, the last day when Andy Reid spoke, he talked about this with Simmons, and this was the headline. This is went national. This is what Chief Simmons ready to go. But he does kind of put a caveat on it if you listen to the entire quote when he said, we'll see what happens when the pads come on, the bullets fly. We'll see what happens. Big difference. Remember, got to listen to the whole thing. Unfortunately, they didn't print the whole thing.
Listen, you can see his athletic ability. You can see his want to. He's got great attitude. He's approached everything the right way, plus a little bit extra. You could tell if you just want to look at his rehab, you can see that he had a mindset that I'm going to get in there. It's not going to be training camp. So it's going to be like now. And he worked his tail off to get there. So you respect that part of it. He's done a nice job in there. He's worked well, and we'll just see. We'll see, what training camp does to him. It's different when things are flying fast up there, and you've got full contact and pads on, and see how he does.
I mean, at less than 8 seconds, he says everything. We'll see what happens when you put the pads on. You got full contact, and the bullets start flying. We'll see what happens then. And again, the Chiefs, have really kind of upgraded their pass rush, to be honest with you. And let me tell you, Gelati, wants to make a difference with his team. Omar Narmalot's extremely good at rushing the passer from the interior. That's going to put pressure on Kingsley Suamataia, how good he is. You look at just the pressure rate for those guys. Felix trying to, hang on to that spot in Kansas City, put it forward a good season. Got O'Menihue. You got this team, man. They want to get back to the quarterback because they were 18th in sacks last year, and they were 2nd in sacks the previous 2 years before that in back-to-back seasons. So we'll see what happens. But again, things do change when you put the pads on, but it looks good. And, you saw the progress. He wasn't lifting all the weight. He was kind of going 225 a lot with what he did. But moving around now and in those one-on-one drills against defensive linemen, even though they're not wearing pads, he looks good. I'll be honest with you, he does. And I'll tell you this much. If it works out, Brett Veach got over on the National Football League. If it works out. If it does, then Brett Veach clearly deserves his spot in Canton. The guy's got an eye for talent. But if Josh Simmons works out, tip your cap to him. He did it again because the rest of the National Football League doesn't pass on starting left tackles, especially at the end of the first round. They don't. They go out and sign them right away. Chiefs didn't. They waited. Still got their guy at the end. If it works out, hey. And they broke trends, man. They got Ohio State. They haven't drafted Ohio State, at least with Brett Veach, but they did because that's how much they believed in Josh Simmons. And they did their homework. They brought him in for a top 30 visit. They had the trainers look at him. They did the same thing with Trey Smith as far as doing medicals and evaluations and thinking about this guy in the future. They did their homework on Josh Simmons. You know damn well they did their homework on this dude, or they wouldn't have taken him in the first round. But he does look good up there. Again, we'll see what happens Sunday. I'm very curious about it. Like, I really want to see it. And I believe in the guy. I want the guy to work because, the Chiefs go as far as Josh Simmons is going to be good. Like, he's that important to this team. Left tackle, quarterback, shutdown corner, and edge rusher. Those are my top 4. Obviously, quarterback's number 1. I didn't mention number 1, but obviously that's number 1. But then if you think left tackle is more important than edge rusher or shutdown corner, I don't. I consider that number 2 as far as positional value in the NFL. It's a very important position. It's good news they brought Jalen Moore in to kind of help that out. Just be that in case of emergency break glass. If Jalen Moore is not the starter, he still could be. Keep in mind, when pads come on, things get much different. And you're talking about a left tackle going against NFL talent now, not Big Ten talent. He's going against NFL guys. And Jalen Moore's been seeing that each and every week when he was in Frisco, been to Super Bowl with them, backed up Trent Williams, got some starts. Trent Williams, the best in the game. He's learned from the best. Like, he's soaked in knowledge, learned from the best. Now he comes to Kansas City that have won rings. You got Andy Reid, the former offensive line head coach, was line coach at Mizzou, BYU, you name it, he knows offensive linemen. He cut his teeth in it. He knows it. And then you got Creed Humphrey to talk to, Trey Smith to talk to. So there is a lot of knowledge to be poured upon Josh Simmons. So, yes, I'm excited about that, but not going to be less excited about seeing what Kingsley can do at left guard because that's that important as well. But Josh Brisco joins us, which he'll be joining Drive each and every week. He'll be joining us at about 3:15. We'll talk to Vern about the Royals in action tonight against Cleveland. Trade deadline, of course, 6 games away for the Kansas City Royals. Which direction do we think they'll go? We'll talk to him at 4 o'clock. But coming up next, steps to Sao Paulo. First game for the Chiefs in Brazil. You guys do it each and every day, so steps to Sao Paulo next.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison, host of the Random Royals lineup on 96.5 The Fan.
Baseball with the Royals.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowes.com/delivery for more details.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Get ready, KC! August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris, Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Go Yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. Join the millions who have already won billions making plays on Underdog and be next to join one of the leading places to make all your sports selections that you can play in your state. To play, all you have to do is download the app. Choose whether you think a player will go higher or lower than their favorite stats. Home runs, strikeouts, total bases, and so much more. Once your entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1. And if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. That's right. If you bet $1, you could get up to 1,000 times your money. So you really could turn $1 into $1,000 with your baseball knowledge. Download the Underdog app. Sign up using that promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P, to unlock a special offer for up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit. That's promo code TAPP, T-A-P-P. Must be 18 plus and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See underdogfantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Visit www.ncpgambling.org.
I'm Piera Palazzolo, VP of Digital Marketing for the American Management Association, a company focused on the management training skills needed to enhance the careers of business professionals. We did our research when it came to the best companies for website development and chose AmericanEagle.com. And we couldn't be happier. AmericanEagle.com worked closely with us to understand the front and back end requirements needed to launch an e-commerce website that could handle the complexities of running thousands of seminars nationwide. Our robust new website and improved SEO saw immediate increases in site traffic and web revenue. If you're in need of managerial effectiveness and success, visit our website at amanet.org. If you're in need of a website that provides an unparalleled consumer experience, I highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Transform your business today.
Dial 877-WebNow1 for a free digital consultation with AmericanEagle.com.
Today, we're constantly taking photos and videos to remember our favorite moments. But what about those captured before the smartphone? What about the memories tucked away on aging VHS tapes, film reels, or in fading photos?
These cherished memories are fading away with time, vulnerable to threats like heat, moisture, and mold. But fear not, there's a solution to safeguard your legacy. Hi, I'm Adam.
And I'm Nick. Together we founded Legacy Box over a decade ago with one mission, to bring your memories into the 21st century.
It's time to bid farewell to old tapes you can't watch and faded photos. Legacy Box transforms them into digital treasures, ready to share with a click.
Just like magic, your shoebox of memories is now safely stored in the cloud or on a thumb drive.
Over 1 million families have trusted Legacy Box, so you can rest assured your priceless moments are in good hands.
Don't let your childhood fade away on old tapes. It's time to digitize those priceless moments.
Fast forward into the digital age. Visit legacybox.com/value and unlock 50% off your order. That's legacybox.com/value.
This afternoon, there is an 86% chance of showers and thunderstorms likely.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
The dog days of summer are upon us, and in Kansas City, that means one thing.
Touchdown, Kansas City!
Chiefs football is around the corner. The Drive gets you ready with a Chiefs topic every day from now until the start of the regular season.
You're gonna have to deal with the Chiefs!
The steps to Sao Paulo.
That's right, steps to Sao Paulo, Brazil, that Friday night game on YouTube. First game for the Kansas City Chiefs. And really, it's time to talk some Taekwon Thornton. You say, who's Taekwon Thornton? Well, he's a receiver for the Chiefs. It's getting some run. Mahomes has talked about him several times. Andy Reid's talked about him. He's been a talked about guy, but who is he? All right, he's a second-round pick just a couple years ago. He's a big-time prospect out of Miami, Florida. Then went to Baylor. He was picked in the second round. It's pick 50. I mean, dude was 8 spots away from being a first-round pick. He was picked by the New England Patriots a couple years ago, and didn't work out. He has a problem with some of the routes, to be honest with you. He's a good vertical 9-route guy, can get down the field. But he was placed on injured reserve back in August of 23. Was activated in October that year. And then that November, they waived Taekwon Thornton, the Patriots did. Chiefs picked him up this past November. Once 3 days later, he was waived by the Patriots on the 16th of November, and 3 days later was picked up by Kansas City, thrown on the practice squad. So he knows the system. He knows the dudes. He's got the chemistry and timing down with the receivers because he knows who they are. But who is he? Because with all indication is he's probably going to make this roster. And I think he should make this roster. Now, this isn't my camp guy and my cat upon him. Maybe you could say that. That's fine. But I think camp guys, it's really, really an outside shot to make, like Jody Fortson type or something like that. But yeah, if you want to call Taekwon Thornton the guy I'm rooting for to make this team, go be it. So be it. I think he does because I think they keep 7 receivers, and the Chiefs like that speed. Taekwon ran a 4.28 at the combine. The guy can flat fly. As a matter of fact, you remember Xavier Worthy ran a 4.21, and that beat John Ross's record. But before Xavier Worthy ran that, when Xavier Worthy was still back at Texas, a guy named Taekwon Thornton went to the combine, and he ran a 4.21 as well. And it beat John Ross. It was the same 40 time Xavier Worthy. Bigger guy, too. Over 6 foot. He's 6'2". Bigger dude. 6'2", about 185, 190 pounds. Only 24 years old. He had run a 4.21 at the combine. It was on NFL Network. Rich Eisen was talking about it, video. But then they go through that. It was an unofficial time. Unofficial time because those things do change, and they do fluctuate. But after film and everything else, going back, they gave him a 4.28, which is a big deal. It's faster than the snap, to be honest with you, 4.28 to 4.21. Dude can fly. The dude can fly. And if they can work with him on his route tree and everything else with his team, and again with the suspension coming with Rashee Rice, I think he makes the team. And I think Nico makes it as well. I don't think Sky Moore makes it. And I think that's the question. But I think that Taekwon Thornton is on this. Matter of fact, Nate Taylor of ESPN the Chiefs insider for ESPN that's been a staple here throughout the station on the drive, Cody and Gold. You name he's on Cody and Gold earlier today. Think I'm crazy talking about Taekwon. I know some people in the building thought I was crazy talking about Taekwon. Here's what Nate Taylor thought about Taekwon.
The biggest winner so far, if you were to give this person immunity for Monday or Tuesday, that would be Taekwon Thornton. It's a wrap, guys. Healthy. He keeps playing the way he's been playing at practice. He is on the roster. He is a legitimate outside receiver. He is, and I've asked, I think they add Taekwon Thornton to the roster in December. He's not going to play. But the whole point was can you be better than Justin Watson? Or can you be a different version of Justin Watson from what we've seen over the last couple of years? Well, through the first week of camp, he's proven it. I don't need to see any more outside of just, hey, let's see it in the pass. Let's see it in the preseason game. You're a veteran receiver. Mahomes, I think, really, really likes him.
That is a ringing endorsement from Nate Taylor. Nate Taylor just didn't throw things to see if they stick on the wall. He's with ESPN, and he was with The Athletic. The guy knows what he's talking about. It's on the team. And he talks about Patrick Mahomes because Patrick Mahomes has mentioned him several times. And guess what? When Patrick Mahomes says a name, he's like E.F. Hutton. Remember those commercials for E.F. Hutton? When he talks, you listen. When Patrick Mahomes says something, you listen. When he says jump, you jump. Andy Reid even, going back to a mini camp on Taekwon.
I like Taekwon. I like the way he's approached things. He's got the quarterback's trust, that's a positive thing. He got valuable reps in here. The other guys can see that he's a talented guy. So far, so good. Again, I'd like to see him in a game situation, how he handles it. I would anticipate he would do a nice job. But I want to see where we're at with that.
And Andy Reid doesn't throw those things around either. And is it his fault that the New England Patriots screwed him up? No, they've screwed a lot of – this is post-Brady, man, when he was there. They've screwed a lot of things up since Brady left. A lot of things. Been a different team. Now, everybody in the NFL has got an ego that they can change people, that they can turn around. But when you have Big Red and you got Patrick Mahomes on your side, and now that Nate Taylor's out here talking about him, I like the guy ever since, college at Baylor and everything else through the combine. But I put Taekwon on this team as well, Rob.
Now, when you say you're putting Taekwon on this team, I want to get this correct. You think he's a regular roster maker, or do you think the fact that
he makes the 53?
Do you think that's because of the likely exception the Chiefs are going to get to carry 54 because of a Rashee Rice suspension, or do you think?
I think he was on it anyway.
So you think he's you think, like Nate Taylor said in that cut, you think he's last year's Justin Watson? Because Justin Watson was a guy that I would say the average fan had cut 5 or 6 times.
I think he's Watson and not Justin Ross. That Justin. Let's think about it, Rob. So Xavier Worthy on, Rashee Rice on, Hollywood Brown on, Jalen Royals on. That's 4. Okay. Juju. Don't forget
Juju's on. Yes.
Juju's on. Don't forget he was drafted the same draft that Patrick Mahomes was in. So he's 29 years old. So they've been together for a long time. Didn't work out in New England. But again, this goes back to New England. New England screws up receivers. See what happens with Vrabel, but they have. And since Brady left, everything's jacked up in New England. So give him a pass on that one. So you put Juju on the team. All right, now we're down to Nico Remigio, who's got extreme value as a returner as well. Don't forget they're placing the ball at the 35, not the 30 this year. Got him in the equation. You got Elijah Badger, the hotshot undrafted guy out of Florida that people are talking about that really like. You've got Taekwon Thornton in the mix, and you have Sky Moore, the former second-round pick that's been in Kansas City. So you got that group. So how many receivers you keep? Because right now we've got 5, Rob.
I think they're going to keep one more.
6. You just have him going 6.
I'm going 6. I think Nico Remigio is the last one.
Ooh. Yeah, if they go Nico, then he's done. If they go 7, I think he would be 6. But
If they go 7, I think he's probably on the roster. Probably. But if they go 6, I don't know. Nico Remigio has a value on this team beyond just wide receiver. I know
he's a returner. He's doing very well.
He's probably the best returner this team has on the roster right now.
Yeah, getting better and better.
Like he seems to be the guy there. I mean, at the bottom of the roster, guys 55, 52, 53, 54, the guys who are just on and just off are Dave Tobe picks. And Dave Tobe is probably going to pick a guy who can return because he has an inherent value to this roster. So that's the 6 I have them carrying. But I also could see them massaging the roster because you can carry a 7th or even an 8th if you so choose by putting Rashid Rice on an exempt list because he's going to be suspended. Like, there's a way to massage it, but I don't know if they don't massage the roster. I don't know Taekwon Thornton's the safe bet you think he is.
I would put him on here only because here's how the math works out. Because if you keep 3 running backs instead of 4, if you keep 4 tight ends and not 3. So something's got to give there. Do you have the Chiefs with 3 running backs or 4?
I have them carrying 3 running backs and a fullback. So I guess 3.
So Carson Steele would be on the team.
Yeah, I have them cutting one of the running backs.
How many tight ends then? Do you go beyond Kelsey, Gray, and Wiley? Do you put Brittingstool on this team?
I don't put Brittingstool on this team, so I think they're going to carry 3 there.
Okay.
I think they're going to carry a lot of O-line. I think you're going to see a heavy O-line presence on their first 53.
I think 7 receivers, which is what they've had in the last 2 years. I think that's going to be what they do this year. I do. I think there's going to be more of an emphasis on return. And keep in mind, they drafted guys that had returnability, back with them. But Nico Remigio, everything you hear about him, they were glowing about him today. They've been glowing about him after practices and how he's getting better in the return game and all that. But it's going to be important because, again, instead of the ball at the 30-yard line, which teams didn't give a crap, they just kicked the ball to the end zone, go ahead and put it 30, that's fine, just do it. But now that it's at the 35, it changes things. So it becomes more inherent to have a good returner in the backfield. So I have Nico on the team, but I have Taekwon as well. And Nate Taylor does too. You're going against Taylor. You're going against Mahomes. You're going against Reed.
They haven't put pads on yet. That's
right. They haven't put pads on.
Let's see what happens when it's time to tackle someone or get tackled. I think that the energy may change a little bit.
But here's the thing about Taekwon, though. I mean, we're not talking about an undrafted guy. We're not talking about a 6th or 7th round guy. We're talking about a guy that was picked 50. We're talking about a 2nd round guy. You know what I'm saying? I know that the routes and everything, but New England does screw things up as far as receivers are concerned. But keep this in mind. Sky Moore, 2nd round pick. Who do you like better, Sky Moore or Taekwon?
Can I push?
God damn it, you got to pick one.
Can I push? I'll lean Taekwon because I haven't seen him fail here yet. But I don't think Taekwon's some budding star. I think they're both failed second round picks. I think he's a budding
star. I think he makes his team. I think they're enamored with the speed. But anyway, I digress. We'll move on. We'll go on to the Kansas City Royals. Trade deadline looming for the Kansas City Royals. 6 more games until the July 31st trade deadline. You got Cleveland for 3. Then you got the Atlanta Braves. We'll talk to Josh Verner coming up at 4. We'll talk Royals before we get in with Josh Brisco talking Chiefs at around 3:17 or so. But the Royals next.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Kansas City sports. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
So we do a giveaway at GiveMeTheVin.com. Every month we're giving away $25,000 to one lucky person that sells us their car. Karen, you there?
I'm here.
Karen Gardner of Oceanside, California is the latest winner in GiveMeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
What did you sell us?
I sold you a 95 Impala.
And what did we pay you for it?
You guys gave me 18.
18 plus 25,000 because you're the winner, Karen.
Oh my God, you're kidding.
You could be next to get a little more, maybe a lot more.
You guys are awesome. Keep it up.
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
The summer selection is on at Reiselman Nissan, and 0% financing is back. Get 0% APR for 5 full years on new Rogues, Muranos, and Pathfinders. Or go long with 1.9% for 72 months, or 84 months at just 3.49% APR. Get up to $6,000 in total rebates on the rugged Frontier. And if you're leasing, you'll pay 0 sales tax. That's real savings. Nobody in Kansas City beats our deals or our selections. Visit Reiselman.com for details. Reiselman Nissan, every customer, every time.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. All you need to do is pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. Just log into your BetMGM Sports account to get started. Then, visit your promotions section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. There's nothing more exciting than going yard, so swing for the fences with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
If you love finding the deal and a bargain brings you bliss, the Hy-Vee 5-day sidewalk sale is cause for celebration. This Wednesday through Sunday, stock up and save big on dozens of pantry staples, like Roma pizzas, 4 for $10, Pepsi 24 packs, $9.99, Frito-Lay's chips, just $1.99, Gatorade 8-pack bottles, just $5.99, and Sunbelt granola bars, 4 for $10. Hurry to the huge 5-day sidewalk sale this week, only at Hy-Vee.
Even though it's summertime, everybody's still busy, and that's where Hy-Vee Market Grill comes in. They've got the best dining value in town. Every day, they've got a meal deal from 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And for $8 per person or less, you can treat the whole family to dinner, like smoked chicken Monday, pork chop Tuesday, cheeseburger and fries on Wednesday, and chicken enchiladas on Friday. And don't forget Steak Thursday with a perfectly seasoned steak, garlic mashed potatoes, and sweet corn for $12. Breakfast, lunch, or dinner, it's only at Hy-Vee Market Grill.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Lowe's knows big savings make a big difference, especially when you're shopping for appliances. Hurry in to get up to 30% off select major appliances. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members get free delivery, free haul away, free installation and parts on purchases of $2,500 or more. Lowe's, we help, you save. Valid through 7/30. Selection varies by location. While supplies last. Price, delivery time, and vehicle availability may vary based on order size and location. Exclusions apply. See Lowe's.com/delivery for more details.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon presents pickleball like you've never seen it. PickleCon takes over Kansas City August 7th through 10th. Tournaments, clinics, puppy yoga, glow-in-the-dark play, and more. Register now at picklecon.com.
Thursday, August 7th on Fesco and Dusty is Travis Kelce Appreciation Day.
Kelce near side, he makes the catch and rolls into the end zone off the right shoulder.
Right here on your home for Chiefs football. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2. Kansas City in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back to The Drive. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton, Josh Brisco comes our way next segment. Rob, there's Travis Kelce Appreciation Day. They had a Rob Britton Appreciation Day yet? No?
I don't believe they have.
They haven't. Huh?
I don't know why Fesco and Dusty haven't done that yet.
No. They're doing Kelce. Why would they do him before you?
Really good question. I guess you'd have to wait. You don't really have a cutesy name like 8-7 for me. I don't really wear a number back here. That's probably the reason.
Are you looking for that steakhouse that he and Mahomes have? I bet it's got some. I bet it's nice and.
Is that ever going to open?
I bet it's nice and cheap too, right?
I feel like we've heard about that steakhouse for like 3 years. I feel like it's an idea at this time.
It's going to be soon, buddy.
It's mostly renderings at this point.
Well, I'm sure you'll get your invite in the mail, and you'll try it out. You'll tell us how good the damn steaks were.
I'll have a couple paychecks to stash away. Who needs a mortgage when you can have a steak?
That's right. That's right. Who needs one? You going out to the K this weekend? See
I am
Royals in Cleveland?
not this weekend. I will be seeing them on Tuesday next week against the Braves. So not against Cleveland, but I am heading to the Cave shortly to see the old boys in blue play some baseball.
I mean, you think about the Braves and Yost and Dayton Moore, Francoeur. I mean, all those connections to the Braves the Royals had. But Cleveland this weekend is interesting to me. I was out there for a couple games when they played the Mets, and you just kind of want to relive that 2015 series a little bit. But the Royals, to me, are extremely frustrating. Again, you strive so hard to be elite at something in professional sports, and they are. Again, they're number 2 in all of baseball in team ERA. When you combine the starters and relievers, number 2. Number 2 in the American League. As far as just starters, how good are just the starters? How about 3rd in Major League Baseball? Number 2 in the American League. That's how good their starters have been. 3 and 2. Major League Baseball, then AL. Relievers, they're back to 9th in all of Major League Baseball. In Cleveland, they face tonight, has moved their way up to 8th in Major League Baseball, but they're 5th in the American League at relievers. So basically what I'm saying is, get them in a short series, they could do damage. And that's the frustrating part. It's like you can see the finish line. You can see the finish line. You can see the 3rd wild card. And you say, oh, man, the Royals just right there, man. They just need to put a streak together and go. And then they don't. And that's the frustrating part about it. But you can see it. And they're doing this. And, again, look at the starters ERA. Look at the starters, the whole team ERA being 2 in baseball with Reagan's being shelved. And now Lorenzen's on the shelf. Well, it took guys like Chris Bubich, to be good this year to help that out. It took taking a guy that was a rookie, and Noah Cameron, that's been phenomenal for this team to be good. And, yeah, that's even sprinkling in an over-the-hill guy like Dick Mountain, Rich Hill, at 45 years old. And I say that because that is his nickname, and that is what he wore on the back of his shirt during Players Weekend, which is incredible. That's actually a shirt that I want, to be honest. That's a jersey I want because he did wear that on Players Weekend, and that's fantastic. Rich Hill should be celebrated for what he did. But that was the game where the Royals had the dog in Chicago. They go into the Cubs, man. They go into Wrigley. That was the number 1 team in baseball, record-wise, when they first got there. And they beat them 2 out of 3. And not only that, they kicked their ass for 2 of those 3 games. Now, that one in the middle, they didn't. They got schooled. They got no hit, perfect game through 5. I mean, it wasn't good for them. But that was kind of what a microcosm what the first half of the season's been. But the hitting's been coming around. This team's hitting the ball better since the All-Star break. Matter of fact, they have 12 home runs since the All-Star break. And they've only played the Marlins and the Cubs. That's it. They had 4 2-run home runs the last game against the Cubs. That tied a franchise record. They're hitting the ball. Salvador Perez is hitting 367 the last 13 games? I mean, his last 13 games, nobody's been hotter in baseball. Dude has 9 home runs in his last 13 games, 13 ribs. He's got 19 freaking hits in his last 13 games. The Royals as a whole, they're 11-7 since July started. So they have been playing better baseball. But it's old age. It just catches you. It hooks you. You think, oh, you're expecting different results. You're watching every night. It's insanity. You're watching it, the definition of insanity, because you're expecting different results. It's the same thing. But to be honest with you, the hitting's been good. And not only that, it's created the front office some confusion. Do you make a move or not? The Maikel Garcia was a deal today too, Rob, that was kind of a hot name right earlier. Was it who was it that put it out there?
The Athletic floated out a hypothetical trade where the Yankees would receive Garcia and the Royals would receive Jason Dominguez.
Which is a very, very average player. Young, 22, but he average.
I'm happy that trade didn't happen because after the Athletic posted that, trades to keep an eye on article, like the Yankees then turned around and traded for Ryan McMahon.
Ryan McMahon of the Rockies.
The Rockies. So I'm happy.
So that's done. That third baseman done.
The Athletics buzz around maybe trading Garcia. I'm happy that dissipated quickly. Or I was worried about that.
Well, that's not going to happen. What about Lugo? And there's been difference of opinion. I'm of the thought that you trade Lugo, and I get it. He's going to have a club option at the end of the year. He's going to decline that. He'll be a free agent. I get it. Do you need that to be a piece to get into the postseason? And I think yes. You take him out of that starting rotation, it changes. Do I consider it a white flag? I do. Do I think the organization sees that way? Who knows? I mean, do you want to see, Dallas Keuchel being called up here, Kyle Wright, these guys? You already got Rich Hill up here. I mean, What do you want to see if you get rid of Lugo? Because I think when you trade Lugo, you put the white flag out. And this team doesn't want to see it. I mean, Vinny and these guys, they don't want to see him go. I mean, can you get into the dance? That's the question. All you have to do is get into the dance. Someone asked me the other day on the text line and said, well, what's the track record of having a third wild card? Well, 2 years ago, the Rangers played the Diamondbacks in the World Series. The Rangers won the World Series. They were the number 2 wild card, and they were barely not the third wild card. They only got it by 1 game. The Diamondbacks were the third wild card team. So the World Series was comprised of end-of-the-list wild card teams. Again, just get to the dance, get to the postseason, and see what happens. That's all you need to do. Lugo, you would have to probably move a Blake Mitchell. You would probably have to move a Carter Jensen with him. Because what are you going to get in return? What are teams willing to pay for rental? Because that's what Lugo would be. He'd be a 2-month rental because he's not going to end up probably signing with a team that trades for him. And are you really getting something? Are you getting kind of a 4-way player or a 4A player that's going to be back in Kansas City? He'll come up here, bat 176, and be sent back to AAA. Is that the guy you want? Do you really think you could get something tangible for Lugo without paying the King's ransom with some of your prospects?
I think you can get rid of maybe it's where I'm looking at Lugo different than you. I have literally no problem throwing a prospect into that deal, sans Carter Jensen. Carter Jensen should stay in the organization. Everyone else should be available for trade.
Over Blake.
Oh, I would send Blake immediately. If the Cubs called tomorrow and they said, hey, you give us Blake Mitchell and Seth Lugo, and we'll give you Owen Casey or Owen Cassie, I don't know how to pronounce that, the top prospect of the Cubs' name, he's an outfielder, I would do it in a heartbeat. I do think, you're right, I think Seth Lugo alone is not going to bring you a massive controllable haul. I think you're going to have to sweeten the pot a little bit.
Gonna have to be.
But the Royals have, 3 catching prospects? As I mentioned, Carter Jensen, who I wouldn't trade.
From Park Hill.
Blake Mitchell, who's in high A right now, who I would trade. And Ramon Ramirez, who I also believe is in high A right now, who I would trade as well. You're not going to be able to carry 3-4 catching players on the roster at a time. So I would be willing to give Lugo and a prospect to the Cubs or the Red Sox for a controllable outfielder because I think you would have the best outcome. So I agree with you on the whole. Lugo alone isn't bringing anything more than just, hopefully a guy that you think with your system you can make a player, but it's, a guy who's blocked somewhere. But if you sweeten the pot, I think you can get something serious, and I am willing to sweeten the pot if I'm the Royals because the way I look at it is we are 3 months away from Seth Lugo not being a Royal anyway, so you might as well get what you can in return.
Will his last start be in Kansas City, or has it already been made?
I think he's supposed to start Tuesday, right?
I think so.
And that's where the schedule lines up. I think he will make that start. I think he will be traded on deadline day. I think the Royals are waiting as long as they can to get that move done.
Which is why I think this series against Cleveland is so important. I mean, it really is. The Royals were in second place. Now Cleveland is. Cleveland started playing some better baseball. They're in there. The Royals are throwing out Waka. They're throwing out Bubic. And they're throwing out Noah Cameron. I mean, that's 3 viable pitchers going back to back to back. You get this series, not only is it important because it's, and I get it, people, laugh all the time. It's the most important series of the year. I actually think this is because divisional opponent, and not only that, but the trade deadline, 6 games before that. Where can you position yourself? Can you actually look at it and think, all right, there's a chance to make the postseason. You're throwing out some of your best here this weekend against a divisional rival in Cleveland, but you go and get spanked by Cleveland this series, start warming up the fat lady, man. Start warming her up. Because Cleveland's sitting with 51-51, the Royals 50-53, and Royals a game and a half back from Cleveland now. As far as the wild card standing, it's Yankees, Mariners, and Red Sox. Boom, 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 1, 2, and 3. Then it's the Rangers, 1.5 back. The Rays, 1.5 back. Cleveland, 3. Then the Kansas City Royals, 4.5. Again, the Royals go out and win 2 or 3, even a sweep, but you don't call for sweeps, but for some reason they did, and they can position themselves tied with and or ahead of Cleveland this weekend. That bodes well, and that may change things. That may change things for the outlook of going into the game with the series with the Atlanta Braves. Atlanta Braves are 44-57. Very winnable team for the Kansas City Royals to beat them. The Atlanta Braves are 4-6 in their last 10 games. So, yeah, get through Cleveland, Then the Atlanta series starts to matter, right? Because you're right before that trade deadline. We'll talk to Vern at 4 o'clock about possibly what the Kansas City Royals can do. But coming up next, back to talking Kansas City Chiefs with the guy that'll be on the show each and every week, and something else that was announced last week, Josh Brisco.
Hey, it's Cole Reagans from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Men, summertime is here, and that means vacations, summer barbecues, outdoor parties, camping, beaches, and so much more. This is Jeff for Heartland Men's Health, and if you're like many men, you may not be feeling like yourself this summer. Perhaps your energy is low and you aren't sleeping well. Maybe your workouts aren't as good as they used to be. And if what I'm describing is you, it's very likely you're suffering with low testosterone. But low T doesn't have to affect you anymore. Just call Heartland Men's Health, get treated, and see how it changes your life. If you're like most men, you'll feel so much better. Deeper sleep, improved vitality and clarity, greater strength and energy, and an enhanced sex drive as well. So call us. Just $99 gets you a PSA and T-test and a medical consult. And if you start on testosterone the day of your appointment, your visit is free. Call 844-447-6600. That's 844-447-6600. Or go to heartlandmenshealth.com. We have 3 offices, Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City.
There is only one National Summer Arms Show, and it returns to Kansas City this weekend only. Bigger than ever. Buy, sell, and trade with freedom lovers from coast to coast and border to border. All gathering at the KCI Expo Center for one incredible weekend. Discover vintage rifles and handguns, modern arms, and collectible militaria. From Civil War artifacts to today's tactical gear, there's something for everyone. Stock up on ammo, brass, reloading gear, and military surplus. Explore blades from everyday carry to high-end collectibles. Visit the Colt collectors, the high standard collectors, and the returning Marlin firearms collectors. There's no buyer's premium, just $15 a day or $20 for a weekend pass. Kids 15 and under are free with an adult admission. The 54th Annual National Summer Arms Show. This Saturday, July 26th from 9 to 5 and Sunday 9 to 3. It's the Midwest's highest caliber event and the 5th largest arms show in America. Details online at nationalsummerarmshow.com. That's nationalsummerarmshow.com.
Final days. Diamonds Direct Summer Showcase ends this Sunday, but there's still time to make it unforgettable. Get an extra 20% off almost everything. Engagement rings, wedding bands, earrings, gold jewelry, tennis bracelets, and stunning fashion jewelry. Plus, this weekend only, top designers from New York and LA are live in store with exclusive collections you can't find anywhere else. The sparkle, the savings, the moment. Don't miss it. Only through Sunday, only at Diamonds Direct. Appointments are filling fast. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
It's the summer sales event at Rob Side Ford. Your chance to upgrade without the stress. Rob Side joins me now. Rob, what's the offer?
0% financing, $0 down, and 0 payments for 90 days on nearly the entire Ford lineup.
That's a serious summer deal.
Sure is. And unlike your brisket last weekend, these deals aren't dry.
Okay, that's fair. These savings are definitely juicy.
And we're backing it up with 2 years of complimentary maintenance, a non-commissioned sales team, and top trade-in values.
No pressure, no gimmicks at Rob Side Ford. The way car buying should be.
We're Kansas City's top-rated Ford dealer. 4.8 stars, nearly 3,000 Google reviews, and a better experience from start to finish.
So skip the smoke and the dry meat. This summer, start at Rob Side Ford.
135th and State Line or robsight.com. 0% financing, $0 down, 0 payments for 90 days, and 2 years of complimentary maintenance.
Rob Side Ford, buy right, drive happy. And next time, maybe stick to potato salad.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Ice Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same.
Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts. Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Tune in to exclusive Chiefs training camp coverage live from St. Joe on 96.5 The Fan. All access player and coach interviews that you can only hear on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs training camp coverage is sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
A couple of problems near Olathe, 35 southbound on the exit to Santa Fe. The right lane is blocked. Also, you've got 35 southbound, the ramp to 119th. Be prepared to stop. Grandview, that's 49 northbound at 140th. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Be sure to follow The Drive on the Odyssey app or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton producing the operation. One guy that you'll hear a lot each and every week this year, plus you'll hear him maybe doing something else as well that I'll mention in a second. Let's welcome Joshua Brisco. What's up, Joshua?
Hey, Bink, I am in a good mood, not just because of what you are alluding to, although that's certainly having to do with it. We've also got a little training camp action, some things to react to, some things to overreact to. It's a good time of year, my friend.
No, it is, and congratulations to you. Not only do you come on here on all the different shows, Josh, but also the network now, as far as the pre, the halftime, the post, and all that with the Chiefs radio network. You'll be doing that as well, so congratulations to you. A lot of hard work went into that. You're the perfect dude for this spot. It's going to be fun. Just those ears listening to you, driving in the Arrowhead Stadium or driving around with those last-minute snacks or whatever, hearing you talking to Mitch and Dana and Kling and everything from all over the place, man. It's going to be fun, man. Congrats, buddy.
Thank you very much. That is very kind of you. I am very excited. It is certainly still pretty surreal to be stepping into some massive, massive shoes there. But again, if I needed any other reason to be excited for this season, that would get it done. I'm, again, honored to be in that spot. Really excited to start breaking that down with that first preseason game. That's just right around the corner.
Yeah, it's not like you're with the Cardinals, the Colts, something like that. You're with teams in the back-to-back Super Bowls, man.
It's unbelievable. I know.
So it's not your garden variety team either. It means you're going to be working into February, my friend.
I know. Yeah, I had to clear that out. I'm okay with that. I'm willing to stick around for a few extra reps into February as long as we can make another Super Bowl trip happen. I will be happy to be there.
So I got to ask you this then, since Kelsey was in it, the Happy Gilmore 2 that dropped today on Netflix. It's available. I haven't had time to sit there and watch it, obviously. Have you, by chance, taken a viewing of Happy Gilmore 2 yet, or are you saving that?
I have not yet. I was thinking about cracking it open tonight because here's the spot that I'm in. I saw the beginning of the clip with Travis Kelce, and I made the choice to not watch the entire clip because I got about 5 seconds in. I thought, you know what? I think this deserves the full context of the movie. So I unfortunately, that's the film I have not yet reviewed. But I think it might happen soon. I'm fascinated to see what it looks like on a variety of levels.
What is it, a big day for golf? Wouldn't Caddyshack put it like 42 years ago or 45 years ago today? Something like that. So it's a golf movie day for sure. I don't know if that was a coincidence there or it just happened. But back to Chiefs camp, obviously day 4 in the books. They put the pads on Sunday, day off tomorrow. It's going to be fun. I'll ask you this question because Rob and I discussed him. It's Taekwon Thornton. And the reason I brought him up is Nate Taylor, of course, that comes on this show, our Chiefs insider and now at ESPN. He thinks it's a lock to make the team. And he's impressed with him and what he's doing. Andy Reid's talked about him at minicamp several times in glowing fashion, and he doesn't always do that with every player. I mean, you got to earn that. Patrick Mahomes has talked about him. We are talking about a second-round picked 50 a couple of years ago. It's still 24 years old from the Patriots, who did run a 4.21 until he adjusted it to 4.28 at the Combine. But, can Taekwon make this team, Josh?
Well, I spend a whole lot of time talking to Nate, and I hadn't heard the L word yet. Lock.
Well, I don't know if he necessarily said that. I'll play it for if you want me to. You want to hear what he said?
Oh, and I like to hear Nate when I get a chance.
Well, this is what he said.
Trey Smith's got to become Joe Tooney. That's exactly what he has to become.
Not on that. Wrong cut.
He's right about that, too, though, while we're at it.
He's right on that. Here's Nate on Taekwon. But, Nate's right on everything. Here's his thoughts on Taekwon.
The biggest winner so far, if you were to give this person immunity for Monday or Tuesday, that would be Taekwon Thornton. It's a wrap, guys. Healthy. He keeps playing the way he's been playing at practice. He is on the roster. He is a legitimate outside receiver. He is, and I've asked, I think they add Taekwon Thornton to the roster in, December. He's not going to play. But the whole point was, can you be better than Justin Watson? Or can you be a different version of Justin Watson from what we've seen over the last couple of years? Well, through the first week of camp, he's proven it. I don't need to see any more outside of just, hey, let's see it in the pass. Let's see it in the preseason game. You're a veteran receiver. Mahomes, I think, really, really likes him.
So he didn't use the word lock, Josh, but he didn't use the word wrap.
It's a wrap. No, you represented him totally fairly there.
Okay.
He has no case to press against you. I think he's saying that. And look, Nate there, of course, is he's pretty good at his job by and large, so not a surprise. But the thing that he mentioned there that stuck with me, and it's the reason that I had Taekwon Thornton right on maybe the right side of the bubble, or really maybe in one of those final wide receiver battles. Maybe it's with Nico Remigio. We'll come back to some things Dave Tobe said today. But Thornton spending a good portion of last season with the Chiefs on the practice squad, I think it's a big deal. I mean, not a big deal in the sense of winning Super Bowls, as this team tends to do, but a big deal in terms of having an advantage over Elijah Badger as an undrafted free agent, or even, Sky Moore. Obviously, he's been around for quite a while, but it seems like his future is probably pretty short. The other guys that you might be looking at for those final spots, I've been giving Thornton just that narrow edge, and I really like what Nate said about, hey, can you come in and be a different or better version of Justin Watson, who they obviously let go. Watson played a ton of snaps for this team and is actually leaving space. Now, of course, you hope Hollywood takes a ton of that space that wasn't there last year. You hope Rashee Rice plays a lot of snaps that he wasn't able to play last year. But I really did like the little bit of a gamble, a very small one, on bringing Thornton in mid-late season last year, getting him acclimated. He has this entire offseason, a little bit of a head start to get involved. If he can be one of those guys, the kind of sacrificial outside receiver that the Chiefs tend to play quite a bit of, I really like his chances, not just to make the team, but to do not wide receiver 1 through 4 kind of stuff, but if Rashee Rice misses time and you need somebody who can go line up outside and just run some snaps, eat some routes, I'd be thrilled for Thornton to be able to be one of those guys.
See, and that's really the reason we're talking about him, because the main story from the Chiefs, when you see national publications talk about training camp or whatever, CBS had something today, it's the wide open offense. And last year, the Chiefs were second to last in air yards, 25 yards or more down the field. So, and they've been talking about it. Mahomes is talking about it. He was talking about it with Kay Adams on her podcast. He talked about it in minicamp, throwing the football downfield. Andy Reid talked about it in minicamp that it's different this year because everybody's back. Everybody's back, so he was putting installs in still throughout the season, just till guys got really acclimated with the system. Well, they're all back, except for Jalen Royals, that obviously he talked about him really getting things together and putting it together. But, you look at how many receivers they're going to keep, and if Rice is suspended, what are you going to do, and who's going to be on the end? Because right now, when Rob and I did it, we had Xavier Worthy, Rashee Rice, obviously Hollywood Brown, Jalen Royals, Juju. And then all of a sudden, you've got Nico, which you'll talk about him in just a second, and how much they really like him in the return game. But then there's Nico, Taekwon, Elijah Badger, Sky Moore even. So there's a little bit of competition there at the end of the rope if they keep 7 receivers.
And I think if you assume that Rashee Rice is going to get suspended for some chunk of the start of the season, which I think is the expectation as of right now, you really do. I mean, you have 6 receivers with all 7 of the guys that you just mentioned, and then you have to make a choice when Rashee Rice comes back. So if it's 2 games, 4 games, whatever, if Rice is suspended before the year begins, before they have to go through roster cutdowns, you can keep all 6 of those guys, who I would agree with you and Rob, Worthy, Hollywood, Royals, Juju, Thornton, and Remigio. I think Nico's got a little bit of an edge over Sky Moore unless he has a really good camp in preseason. Even then, I don't know. He's been on the team for a while. But I really do think those 6 are all in really good positions. And then, as we both alluded to, Dave Tobe talked about Nico again today. It seems like he's far and away their number one choice as a returner. And then you also heard Tobe talk a little bit about Thornton maybe trying to do some of those Justin Watson special teams things, being a gunner in punt coverage and being able to have some speed and some physicality there. So I really do think that room's going to come together pretty nicely. I think you just hope that you can get Elijah Badger to a practice squad and then let him get up to speed that way. And then I heard a little bit of you guys talking about Royals specifically near the top of the show. I remain skeptical that a rookie is going to get a major workload. Let's say it is in Rashee Rice's absence for a few weeks at the beginning of the season. It's really hard for a rookie to come in and immediately have an impact in Andy Reid's offense as a receiver. We saw Rashee Rice and Xavier Worthy both do it later in their rookie years, even though they did it in huge ways. Maybe Royals is just smart enough. He is just versatile enough to be able to do some of the stuff that they were asking Rice to do. Also, a thing from Nate yesterday talked about Royals being in for Rashee Rice with the first team for a few of those reps. Right now, you're just stress testing the rookies. You're seeing how much they can take on in terms of the playbook. You're seeing how comfortable they can get in the offense quickly. But if he can continue to prove that, all the things that all three of us have chimed in on now, I really like where the wide receiver group sort of lands for this season and beyond, because it's a very young group as well.
And especially with the receivers and how they're going to go downfield. And we all know that all this won't matter if Mahomes doesn't have the time to throw down the field.
Right.
Again, mentioned the air yards, second to last, like 6 times over 25 yards or more. And it comes down to the left side. It comes down to Kingsley at guard if he makes it and is the starter for this team. I'm sure they would love that because – and I liked Kingsley coming out of the draft, too. I mean, a lot of people, thought maybe in first rounder for this guy because he's a huge dude, and he's extremely versatile. I mean, he can get out of the pocket and move and do a lot of things that guards can do, and that's one really good positive for Kingsley. But what about Simmons? Because I was looking at, we were talking about Brett Veach's best moves, and clearly I think, grabbing Butker off the Panthers practice squad would be move number 1 for me. I clearly liked, Anger for Charvarius Ward and various things, but if Josh Simmons ends up panning out, this might go at the top of the list.
Yeah, I mean, there is that asterisk, and I mean, you've been on it. We've all been talking about it, obviously, since the draft, right? It was just, hey, Josh Simmons' tape was incredible. What's going on inside of his knee? Well, now we're here in late July, and he's the offensive tackle of this group, of the top 3 tackles in this group. Josh Simmons is the guy that you may have the fewest injury questions about right now, which seems crazy considering where we were in late April. But I think that's a testament to Josh Simmons throughout the rehab process. It's a testament to the Chiefs medical staff for getting that intel, being able to move back a spot and still get him at 32. If Josh Simmons is the guy we saw him in college, it's the best move that Brett Veach has made as a general manager because he wasn't a GM when he drafted Mahomes. That's it, though. I mean, if you find because that's Josh Simmons' ceiling, right? A franchise left tackle that can be a guy that you park and play for 10 years.
Yeah.
It's a lofty ceiling, and Josh Simmons could get near but not to the ceiling, and it would still be an incredible boon for this offense. But like you said, with Simmons and Kingsley, 2 young guys who haven't done it at the pro level at those positions, and obviously Kingsley's year last year was tumultuous when he was on the field at tackle, kind of set this whole thing off, this entire domino chain. But I do think Kingsley has an incredible skill set to be a athletic, moving, mauling guard. Him and Trey Smith, bookending Creed Humphrey in that interior, would be a blast if Kingsley can do it. But I'm just going to keep saying if until he shows it, because this is still a little bit of projection on really 3 spots on the line, as long as you're kind of looking at Jalen Moore and where he slots in. But I think best case scenario, you hope it's Simmons and Kingsley at left tackle and left guard. If those guys truly win the job, and not just because of other people's injuries, that's the best case in the Chiefs' mind. Or at least in my mind, that's the best case for the Chiefs.
Yeah, and of course, Jalen Moore. I mean, they really liked him because they went out and snagged him, and the salary cap worked out for the Chiefs. They expected $270 million to be in $279 million on that. But Jalen Moore, he was recruited to Western Michigan as a tight end. So that really shows his versatility. He slid into tackles, the left tackle there, and he can play right tackle. He's done both. And he put him in San Francisco. He backed up Trent Williams. But, there's another guy right there, even though it's a 2-year contract, it's kind of like prove it. Like he's out there to make money. And that's one thing I like about some of these Veach moves, getting guys that are hungry to make money after the season. And like Jalen Moore will have something to say about this too, in my opinion.
Absolutely. And I think, again, as long as there's health and as long as you're picking winners and not winners by default, and again, no shade to Kingsley last year, but like Wanye Morris wasn't fully right during training camp. Kingsley ends up getting that job, and in retrospect, you wonder, what if Wanye Morris was healthy? Or did they have the exact right plan for Kingsley? Would they have brought in a veteran behind him if they knew Wanye was going to be a little bit banged up? All these things that we just can't know. Well, what we know now is that you can have Jalen Moore this year on about an $11 million salary cap hit, and that's fine. If he is your swing tackle and you have Josh Simmons coming off the knee injury, and obviously signing him before the draft, so I was glad they signed Jalen Moore when they did. I'm still glad they have Jalen Moore on this team because you had Juwan Taylor missing time with this knee stuff. You have Josh Simmons coming back from his own knee issue. Having some insurance there is not a bad thing for $11 million against the cap. Maybe Jalen Moore is also your left guard insurance. I think Wanye Morris also could kick in a little bit, and Hunter Norzad is out there. Mike Caliendo was the guy actually starting at left guard after Tooney moved out the tackle last year. So they've got options on the interior, but the Chiefs talk about it all the time. You want your best 5 offensive linemen out there. I think it's wise to have Simmons just working at left tackle for the most part because that's where you want him to be. But I think the best odds for the 2026 starting right tackle on this team is Jalen Moore. Juwan Taylor, this will be the last year under his current contract that he's here for as far as we could project. If he moves on after this season, then Moore is stepping into a starting role and in a true contract year next season, and it's an $19 million cap hit, totally reasonable for your starting right tackle if that's what Moore is next year. So last year, I think we saw that the Chiefs suffer from not having quite enough redundancies at the tackle position. This year, they have a smorgasbord of 3 NFL caliber tackles, which is a good problem to have at this point.
Talking to Josh Brisco, one of our Chiefs insiders here at 96.5 The Fan. He's also the anchor on the Chiefs Radio Network as well. One more offensive question for you. Look at the defense. The running back situation. It is interesting to me what they're going to do because Andy Reid has always kept a fullback until he didn't. And then he had the times where he didn't have one. And Carson still, he's, the fullback. We know he can play tailback and do different things, but fullback's his deal. Elijah Mitchell comes in, actually more guaranteed money than Kareem Hunt got when they brought him back. And you got Brashard that they drafted, and then you've got Isaiah Pacheco here. So kind of an interesting dynamic. Going to be hard for all those guys to be on the roster at the same time.
Yeah, it's a fascinating group to me, in part because it's such a diverse group of running back skill sets. None of those top 5 guys are anything like each other. I mean, just in terms of the things they do best and the things that maybe you question. If I had to project it here, then this is, again, we're talking about running backs before the pads come on, so
sure.
Nobody bring these notes back to me in 2 weeks. Let's see how it shakes out. But if I had to tell you right now, I'd say, yeah, I think the top 4, and I think they carry 4 running backs. I think it's Pacheco, Hunt, Mitchell, and Smith, and those are the 4 guys that make the active roster. Carson Steele is a practice squad superhero. The second that somebody gets banged up, he's the guy you call up. I'm totally cool with that. I really like Carson Steele. I think everybody kind of does. But I think when you're trying to figure out who has the most juice for your actual running back rotation, it's those other 4 guys. I think Pacheco is in line, not to be a bell cow, but to be the first guy up in this offense. That's my expectation, at least to start the season. Kareem Hunt gets to go into an actual, lesser used, no 27 carry games or whatever his high was when he rejoined the team last year. A short yardage, smaller role for him. You hope Elijah Mitchell can stay healthy, be explosive, catch passes, have some speed out of the backfield. Brashard Smith, you maybe hope can do some of that as well. Of course, he's the rookie you're bringing up to speed and a guy who I mean, look, man, I love a 1 year removed from playing wide receiver running back prospect. That's right up
It's the wheel
alley.
route, Josh. You're going to see the wheel route for like a 35-yard touchdown. Guarantee it.
And I can't wait. I love that stuff. So I certainly hope that that's the case. And then, yeah, I think Steele's just kind of on the wrong side of the numbers game there. But I think everybody, those other 4 with health, I think those 4 are all making the 53.
And looking at the defense, obviously, You got a Minihue. When I talk about, guys going out there for the prove a deal to make money going forward, can he have a big year this year? Certainly, you put up big numbers when you have Chris Jones still on the team, and you can put up numbers there. Look at the draft. Ashton Gelati led college football in pressures last year. 2 years ago, he led the ACC in sacks. He can get to the quarterback. Omar Norman Lott, even though not a starter, his last year was on a rotation because they used the 6-man rotation in Tennessee. But he had the best quarterback win rate. So you see, they've got guys that can get to the quarterback. They slid to 18th in sacks last year. They were number 2 the previous 2 years when they happened to win the Super Bowl both times as well. But when you look at this rotation, what they got on defensive line and edge, how confident are you for the Chiefs to get to the quarterback?
I feel a lot better than I did this time last year for a couple of reasons, but I'm glad you mentioned last year because that was really the part of the entire team that I feel like went kind of under the radar for a few weeks. We spent a few weeks talking about it, and then it kind of, I don't know if it improved when Amenahu kind of started rolling back. He was never, 100% the guy that you wanted him to be because he was still very fresh off of a serious injury. But the pass rush and specifically getting pressure with 4, that was one of the biggest issues this team had last year. But then by playoff time and everything, I think you started to see them being able to atone for some of that. Spags gets a little spagsier, and you don't think about it as much. But I think their offseason plans this year underline the fact that they want to be a lot better at that this season. Charles Amenahu being fully healthy now, having this entire offseason healthy, it's going to be his first time playing a full season with this team. I think Charles Amenahu, and maybe the rotation of it all is the thing that holds this back. I think Charles Amenahu is going to have a career year. I think he's the most underrated player on this defense, and I really hope, no offense at all to Mike Dana, who's a extremely good rotational defensive end to have, who can hold that edge. I'm happy for Mike Dana to be this team's DE3 this season, but I really hope that Charles Amenahu is the one starting opposite George Karlaftis. I'd like to see Amenahu get a lot more snaps. And then you have everything rotating around Chris Jones in the middle. I'm very interested to see what Jerry Tillery does. You mentioned Omar Norman Lott. I was kind of ready to, not redshirt him by any means, that's an exaggeration, but I was ready to have him on a slower development plan. He's getting some early work out there with the ones, and Spags doesn't tend to just give those reps away, so that's kind of interesting. And it's another year for Felix. It's another year. Again, you look at, I really like Ashton Gelati. I don't know how he's getting snaps. I'm not sure how Felix is getting snaps in a major way, just because there are professional football players at the top of this depth chart, and frankly, there are professional football players in the middle of this depth chart now on this defensive line. I'm a little bit worried about who's behind Mike Pennell, just in terms of your run-stuffing defensive tackle, not so much in the pass rush, because you're going to put Chris Jones and Tillery out there, or Jones and Norman Lott out there together on 3rd and 8. Fine by me. That sounds like a great time. But yeah, I do like where this rotation is headed, and I really hope everyone just stays healthy enough to show all the juice that I think that group can bring this year.
It's one of our Chiefs insiders, Josh Brisco, also the pre-halftime post for Chiefs Radio Network. The anchor over there will get started in earnest here really soon for this season. So good stuff from Josh. Hey, by the way, is it going to rain, man? It looks like it got cloudy or something.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm looking out my windows here. The water droplets haven't fallen, but it does look like it's primed for it. Okay. So grab your umbrellas, everybody. It may be a wet one.
And grab your popcorn and watch Happy Gilmore too, my friend.
Yes, and apparently your honey. Again, I didn't watch the entire Travis Kelce clip. I have some questions.
Yeah, the honey thing. I saw that. There's questions. Thanks a lot, Josh.
You want to recreate that for social later?
No.
Oh, okay. All right.
We'll do it for Rob. Let Rob do that.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey, take care, Josh. Yeah, you know about the honey, right? Rob, you've seen the clips on social media with the honey?
I actually have done a good job avoiding any and all spoilers when it comes to Happy Gilmore 2, but so I don't know what you're talking about, but I'm kind of happy I don't know what you're talking about.
Good stuff there from Josh Brisco right there. You'll hear him all year long at this time right here on the drive right about 3:15 or so. Coming up next, though, looks like is the SEC going to add 2 more from the ACC? Could this crush the ACC with these 2 teams that they come? And Nate Taylor has a particular take about a town that's in the Big 12. Do we agree with it or not? Next.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Chiefs football. 96.5, The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
Don't let clogged drains slow you down. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter today for our $79 mainline drain cleaning special. The pros at Hamilton will inspect your drains with video camera technology to pinpoint exactly what is needed to clear those clogs and help prevent expensive drain repairs. The expert technicians at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to solve your problem the right way, the first time. Over 40 years experience and more than 8,000 five-star reviews ensures your peace of mind. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Get ready, KC! August 23rd will not be your average Saturday. Harris, Kansas City is dropping $700 in free play every 7 minutes from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. That's dozens of winners all day long. And it all leads to the big one. At 10:01 p.m., one lucky guest will take home a jaw-dropping $70,000 in cash. That's over $140,000 in free play and cash flying out the door in just one day. Harris, Kansas City, where the cash keeps coming, and you could be our next winner. Must be 21 or older to gamble. Know when to stop before you start. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey, it's Rex here with RexBuysKC.com, your local KC home buyer. If you own a property in the Kansas City or surrounding area and want to sell it fast and at a fair price, write this number down. 816-330-6000. I'm a private real estate investor, not some hedge fund or large national chain. My family and I live right here in KC. I can pay cash and close on your timeline, even in as little as 3 days. Here at RexBuysKC.com, we are improving Kansas City one house at a time. I buy inherited houses, vacant houses, foreclosure houses, behind in payment houses, my tenant won't pay the rent houses, and properties that need complete rehabs. Do you own a house that's trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great. If you own a house and want to sell it fast, call me at this number, 816-330-6000. That's 816-330-6000, or go to RexBuysKC.com. That's RexBuysKC.com, and I look forward to working with you.
Missouri sports fans, I got great news for you. Underdog is now available to play in your state, and you can go yard all baseball season long with Underdog's Champions Game. As we get ready to roll into the 4th of July holiday, the baseball action is heating up, and Underdog is a leading place to make all of your sports selections. To play, all you have to do is download the app and choose whether a player will go higher or lower on one of their stats. You can choose from things like home runs, total bases, and so much more. And once that entry feels good, you can play with as little as $1, and if you get everything right, you could win up to 1,000 times your money. Maybe it's time for Vinny Pasquantino to start heating up, and you love the over on his total bases this weekend. Download the Underdog app and sign up with promo code BOB to unlock a special offer of up to $1,000 in bonus cash when you make your first deposit with promo code BOB. Must be 18 and present in Missouri. Terms apply. See UnderdogFantasy.com/web/deposit-match-terms. Concerned with your play? Call 1-800-GAMBLER or visit www.ncpgambling.org.
Chiefs coverage sponsored by Renner Garage Door. RENNER, forward and back.
Almost Andy Reid here. Renner Garage Door has proudly served KC for nearly 70 years. Get your free estimate today. RENNER, forward and back.
RENNER, RENNER.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Renner Garage Door near Grandview. Still working with the stall vehicle 49 northbound as you approach 140th. In Independence, that's a 2-car crash, and that is 70 eastbound just past 435. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome to your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
Josh Verner, Verner will join us at the top of the hour. Jay Binkley, Rob Brenton producing the operation. So the big media day kickoff has basically been going around the country with all the college football teams. Big 12 a couple weeks ago, the SEC during All-Star break. Last week, the ACC going on now. Belichick up there. It is weird still seeing him back in college football. But the latest buzz, Rob, has two teams possibly eyeing the SEC if the SEC would make a move, or if conference realignment, would make a move, the ACC. Here's the one thing. North Carolina was a founding member of the ACC. That would be a big move, but by all indications, they want to move, and I'm sure Clemson would not mind being in the Southeastern Conference, but I know the ACC right now is sitting with an uneven number. They're sitting there with 17 teams in the ACC. But we're going to go see, we're starting to see the rise of jumbo conferences now, as you have. But UNC and Clemson would make sense for the SEC. They kind of go out and get whoever they want. It's kind of the end-all be-all to be in that conference. In the ACC, had to grab a couple former Pac-12 teams to be in their conference. I think it would crush them, man, because Clemson's the bell cow in that conference as far as football. They're the ones that made the college football playoffs last year. I think they're going to make it again with Cade Klubnik at quarterback again this year, and Dabo knows how to win. But if UNC and Clemson go together, and you know what, Belichick and Dabo, I think, are boys, man. They're friends, and stuff like that. But how long is Belichick going to be there? I don't know. But do you see a situation that those two go to the SEC? Because I would say when there's smoke, there's fire. Don't forget when Oklahoma and Texas jumped from the Big 12 to the SEC, there was no smoke, there was no fire. They just did it.
So here's the thing, and I've read the article, I believe it was on 3 Sports, talked about the exit fees in the ACC basically disappear after 2030. So I do think after 2030, both those teams are eyeing for a way out of the ACC. My question becomes, what does college sports look like in 2030? Like,
completely different.
I do not think that Clemson and UNC have plans of staying in the ACC based on the way it's set now after 2030, and we know that number because of the exit fees. But, Bink, if it was COVID times, we were doing the show, and I asked you, hey, what's college sports going to look like in 5 years? I don't think you would have had Oklahoma and Texas in the SEC. I don't know you would have had Rutgers and Washington in the same conference. I don't know you would have told me that athletes are going to get paid, no problem, NIL. We wouldn't know what NIL is back then. So I think that 2030 is a big part of this reporting because I don't know what the college sports looks like in 2030. Do we still have conferences? Have they broken away?
Well,
have they had their own group? I don't even begin to guess to know because I wouldn't have known 5 years ago.
Well, you've heard the talk. It's just very talk. Remember Big Ten and SEC forming their own deal, remember? Well, the Big Ten and SEC have kind of been in cahoots on a lot of different things. Keep in mind, the Big Ten has 18 teams. The SEC has 16 teams. If they were to grab 2 more, they'd be right there with the Big Ten as far as both having 18 teams. But you're right. Neil has changed the game, man. And I just go to the NFL, what the Bengals are dealing with Shamar Stewart, the only first-round picks not signed, right? Because there's talk, like if he goes back to A&M, which I don't think he'll go back there and play. Does he work out with them? Yeah. But here's the thing. He could sit out this draft. And here's the misnomer. Yeah, the Bengals have his rights till week 10. But if he goes back in the draft, the Bengals can't draft him again. And not only that, he goes right back in. He's only 21 years old. And not only that, 21 years old with over $1 million in the bank. That is different than 21-year-olds joining the draft and joining the NFL a couple years ago, right? Some of these guys have $1 million, $2 million, $3 million already in the bank. That's why name, image, and likeness has changed things. So, again, it has changed the landscape in the NFL, college football. Jim Nagy ran the Senior Bowl. He's now the GM of the Oklahoma Sooners because they used to not have GMs in college football. Now they do.
And I think to me it's more than just NIL, and I agree with you on all that. I just feel like, and maybe this is, I love college sports. I actually think I might love college sports more than pro sports at times. There's just something great about watching college athletics. But man, to worry about what the ACC and realignment might look like in 3, 4, 5 years seems like a foolish errand to me because I don't even begin to know how college sports will operate. I don't understand how college sports will operate. It could be a pro league by then. It could be minor leagues. It could be the group of 5 is not part of the Power 5. There's too much up in the air for me to really sweat this. But if college sports stays stagnant, I think in 5 years UNC and Clemson are out, which would spell disaster for the ACC, and I think you then would see a Power 2 kind of emerge.
Yeah, because then, NC State's going to throw a fit. One of the state schools going to the SEC, so they're going to throw their fit. And who knows where it ends, but the Big Ten would be matched with 18 teams from the SEC. We'll see where it goes. It would bring the ACC down to 15 teams as they have that uneven number at 17 teams. Now, you brought this up to me, Rob. I did not hear it. Have you heard Nate Taylor that was on? We played Nate Taylor, obviously. His football takes. We love his football takes. He was on with Cody and Gold, but you haven't heard this. These are his thoughts on – they asked him about Manhattan, Kansas, I guess.
I believe somehow Manhattan, Kansas came up on Cody and Gold today.
Okay. So they asked Nate Taylor about Manhattan, Kansas, and this is what he had to say.
I don't go to Manhattan. I'm doing just fine. Why would I want to go to Manhattan? Now, hey, guys, hey, Manhattan, it's fine. Here's the problem, guys. I didn't do this. This happened on its own, okay? What we're not going to do is probably go to Manhattan. If I had any say in it.
Wow, man. Why the discourse with Manhattan? I get it. Everybody's got their opinions. Everybody's got their places. I'm sure if I asked Rob, he would be all Lawrence, no Manhattan, no Columbia, no nothing. He would take Lawrence over everything. I don't think that's a stretch, is it?
I didn't mind my trips to Manhattan. I would never go there if it wasn't for my team playing there, but that seemed like the epitome of a stray.
Wow,
Manhattan
caught that one. And I disagree with that. I love Manhattan. I actually do. I was sitting in here with CDOT. We were doing a beer segment or something, and we were asking about best tacos, and someone said Toto's Tacos in Wamego, Kansas, which is out there by Manhattan. I got in the car, went to Wamego to have some Toto's. Then Carrington did. I called and said, hey, Carrington, these are great. He goes and drives down there for it. But Manhattan, Kansas, with the breweries, with all the restaurants now, that town has totally changed since Bill Snyder. Did you ever read, like Sam Mellinger wrote something back before he's, Royals PR doing the Star? Like about all things that happened in Manhattan because of Bill Snyder. They had 3 hotels before Bill Snyder. And there was talks about him dropping D1 football and going down to FCS. I mean, just now it's over 18 hotels there, the restaurants. I mean, he literally transformed it. I can't name another college coach that transformed his town more than Bill Snyder. I actually like Manhattan, Kansas. I don't have a problem with it at all.
The couple of times I've been to Manhattan, I've had no issue when I'm there. Again, I'm not just going there for vibes, but I'm there. I watch my team play. The people are friendly. I get to watch KU. And then
wait a minute, they're friendly to you in a KU shirt?
They are more friendly there than the people in Columbia have been when I'm in
really?
Columbia. Yeah.
No. I'm still wanting to do that beer test with you in Carrington, though. Get some Lawrence breweries and some Columbia breweries. Don't tell you what you're drinking, and get what you think is actually best. You and Carrington, who wins, Lawrence or Columbia? Blind taste test, too, so you don't know what's from Columbia and what's from Lawrence, right? Put you on the spot, man. Columbia beer is really good, man. I know Lawrence is, too. And now Manhattan's trying to get in the picture with breweries. Manhattan Brewing Company is very good, by the way. Very good. Anyway, I digress. But it was Nate's thoughts on Manhattan. I love it. I love these towns here for college football. I think it's great. Coming up next, Josh Verner will talk Royals. Trade deadline's coming right up. Just 6 more games till that. What's he expect from the Royals, and what's he think of the Royals' recent surge since the All-Star break? Next.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison. Catch Hall of Famer Denny Matthews every Monday at 3.
And gone, Bobby Witt.
On your home for Royals baseball, 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
This one brought to you by Renner Garage Door near Grandview. Still working with the stalled vehicle 49 northbound as you approach 140th. In Independence, that's a 2-car crash, and that is 70 eastbound just past 435. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
If Twisted Tea was your best friend, they'd start a dance party in the supermarket that turns into a pool party at your place, and you don't even own a pool. Twisted Tea is smooth, refreshing, and always fun. Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Check engine or ABS light on? Take the guesswork out of your warning lights with O'Reilly Veriscan. It's free. Ask for O'Reilly Veriscan.
O'Reilly Auto Parts.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with AutoPay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of speed test intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025. Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Chiefs coverage brought to you by Park & Go, the best deals on airport parking.
Ready for a summer getaway? Start it off right with Park & Go, KC's premier airport parking destination. Open 24/7 with all covered spots to beat the summer heat. Reserve your spot now at bookparkandgo.com. Park & Go, the best deal on airport parking.
Numerous brands to choose from, endless options, one incredible experience. At Aristocrat Motors, we treat every driver like royalty and offer the finest luxury vehicle experience in Kansas City. Come see us today and let us roll out the red carpet for you.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
At Casey's, we're too nice to say no. So when someone asked for a free frozen drink, we said sure. Then they said every Friday all summer, and well, now we're giving away free medium frozen drinks every Friday. Free Frozen Fridays with Casey's Rewards. It's not crazy, it's Casey's. See store for details.
Century Roofing remains the best roofing company to call for insurance claims from storm damage, roof repair, and inspections throughout Kansas City. They were just voted as both the best roofing company in Johnson County for the 4th straight year and the best roofing company in all of Kansas City by readers of the Johnson County Post and the KC Star. So trust the pillars of strength and go with locally owned and female-owned Century Roofing at CenturyRoofingKC.com.
Century Roofing, trust the pillars of strength.
Final days. Diamonds Direct Summer Showcase ends this Sunday, but there's still time to make it unforgettable. Get an extra 20% off almost everything. Engagement rings, wedding bands, earrings, gold jewelry, tennis bracelets, and stunning fashion jewelry. Plus, this weekend only, top designers from New York and LA are live in store with exclusive collections you can't find anywhere else. The sparkle, the savings, the moment. Don't miss it. Only through Sunday, only at Diamonds Direct. Appointments are filling fast. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
Brought to you by Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing. Visit climatecontrolkc.com. Climate Control has been serving KC homeowners for over 35 years and know how to get your cooling system ready to handle the scorching hot summer. Schedule your AC system tune-up for just $59. Don't wait. Visit climatecontrolkc.com today. Climate Control Heating, Cooling, and Plumbing.
Have you watched Die Royal Decree? How about Chiefs Take Tuesday? Or would you rather Wednesday? Follow us on Instagram at TheFan965 for exclusive video content, giveaways, and behind-the-scenes action. 96.5 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Hey, welcome back. 4 o'clock hour, The Drive. We've heard from Josh Brisco. Now it's time to hear from another Josh. Josh Verner, our Royals insider, live from Kauffman Stadium in Vern's little booth. Vern actually has a broadcast booth that says Vern's booth. It's very cool. Vern's been all sorts of places. Out in the trailer, gate A, left field. He's been up at Craft and Draft. He's been on the media floor where there's a studio. Vern's Vern's been everywhere. But anyway, we're going to Vern's booth. Hi, Vern.
Welcome into the booth, Pink. What's going on, buddy?
No, it's good, man. It's perfect, man. People can walk by and flip you off or cheer you or whatever they want to do.
Did I tell you? I didn't tell you this story. So it's the last homestand. Royals finally winning at home. And after one of the wins, this woman comes up to me, comes up to the window, and drunkenly says, I was going to drop my slang for breasts.
Boobs.
Even more slang than that. She says, I was going to drop my meh, but my boyfriend won't let me. And I look out the window, and there's this dude standing to the right of the window with his head down because his drunk girlfriend was about to expose her breasts to your boy right before the post-game show. So thankfully, for her sake and her future coming to Kauffman Stadium, she kept her shirt on.
Well, it would have been rough for the lineups, right? Like if you're going straight to the lineup and these boobs are pressed up against the window.
Yeah, right. Especially if someone in the lineup has a first name like Bob or something, because that could have easily turned into Booby Witt Jr. Just a Freudian slip there.
Well, Vern, we have, I called it earlier. I know through the years, I'll tell you that, man, I think this series is huge. It might be in May or June. I'm like, man, it's the biggest of the year. Things like that. I'll throw it out and you'll poo-poo it and whatever, Bingley. Don't be dumb. But I'm telling you, man, this Cleveland Royals series, man, being 6 games out from the trade deadline, kind of figuring out what you are. This team's been on fire, at least hitting-wise, since the All-Star break. 12 home runs. They did drop 2 of 3 to the Marlins, but 2 of 3 they won from the Cubs. Been a different team. And you've got a division rival in here that sits ahead of you now. And obviously, if Cleveland sweeps them, start the fat lady singing at that point.
Sure,
but if they do well against Cleveland, 2 of 3 or 3 of 3, things are much different as you go into the trade line. That's why I look at this series. As I'll be honest with you, I think it's the biggest of the year.
Yeah, and then the Braves series will be the biggest of the year following that. Royals have to win, period. I really don't care who's in the other dugout. They could be playing the Chicago White Sox right now, and they would need to win the series, because you look at the teams that are ahead of them as they sit 4.5 games back at that final wild card spot. Red Sox, Rays, Rangers, and Guardians. Other than the Rangers, all those other teams have handled you this season. You've lost 2 series to the Guardians. Royals can only lose 2 more times to this Cleveland team if they have any hopes of winning the season series, of having that tiebreaker with Cleveland, right? We need to start focusing on those tiebreakers. The Rays and the Royals, and even 3-3 this season. Royals dropped the series to the Red Sox, so they're going to need to even that up when they go to Fenway next weekend. And when you're knotted up like they are with the Rays and like they could be with the Red Sox, the next tiebreaker is your inter-division record. So how do the Royals do against the American League Central? So again, they need to beat up on the White Sox. They need to beat up on the Twins, or else they're going to lose the head-to-head matchup or the tiebreaker. They're going to lose that to the Rays, to the Red Sox. They're going to lose that to the Guardians. And listen, I'd love to think that the Royals can get red hot. But even if they do get red hot, they still need some help. They need the Rays and the Rangers. They need the Red Sox and the Guardians to either get banged up or come back down to earth. The Royals don't control their fate anymore. So whoever's in that other dugout, it's a huge series. Now, Cleveland in particular, there's no arguing the importance of this series when you drop the first 2 to the division rival, and they kind of owned you in those first 2 games, both on the field and between the ears. Royals never really retaliated for Emmanuel Clase going up and in to Jonathan India. Big series, no doubt about it. But listen, once they lost that series to the Mets prior to the All-Star break, I'm not going to say I'm waving the white flag, but I now acknowledge that the Royals don't control their own fate, that they've bungled enough of these home series and even the road series, right? Dropping a series to the Marlins, dropping a series to the White Sox. They've fumbled the bag so much where I have no reason to believe that they can get red hot down the stretch. But I will admit, if you don't win this series against Cleveland, I don't know how anyone has any hope for this team down the stretch. The math just doesn't work out. You either take 2 of 3 and stay alive. Now, if you sweep, okay, you could feel real good because you leapfrog the Guardians then in the standings. But if you lose this series, even the most diehard optimistic Royals fan, you're just going to sound like a pie-in-the-sky wacko after this series.
I'll tell you what, Vernon, in professional sports, you always want that part that's elite, right? In the NFL, you want that elite quarterback. Well, this team does have an elite pitching staff, and that's with Cole Reagan's not, doing his thing. Lorenzen hurt now, too. They're number 2 in all of baseball. They're number 2 in the American League. That's ridiculous. That is a pitching staff. If they get to the postseason, look out because that pitching staff's good enough to do it. But you got to have the hitting. Then that's the problem. You got to be good at both. And I look at this team and these starters in the ERA and just what they've been able to accomplish. And you keep waiting for that hitting to come around, and you sit there and watch every night, and you're just so frustrated because you see how damn good this pitching staff is for the Royals. And just get to the dance. I mean, the Rangers and Diamondbacks proved that 2 years ago. Both of them are wild card teams. The Rangers were the second wild card team, just one game removed from the third wild card team, and the Diamondbacks were the third wild card team. So just get to the dance. Those teams represented for all the marbles. But this pitching staff is so good. The Lugo thing is really interesting to me. Because, obviously, I saw McKell's name being tossed around today to the Yankees or whatever, and they traded for Ryan McMahon of the Rockies, so they're fine on that. So he's staying. But the Lugo thing is interesting to me because how kind of haul can you get back, and are you willing? Because I see it as a white flag move. You do that. But these teammates, those guys in the locker room don't want that, man. Vinny and them talking about keeping Lugo, they do not want that. So you're sending a message to you're sending a message to your fans and especially the players as well. But if they do well against Cleveland, is there a way that he stays on this team, or are they still going to move him?
Well, I think you have to move him regardless of what happens against Cleveland or what happens against Atlanta. Now, you don't need to give him away for nothing because, sure, you could offer him the qualifying offer this offseason, a 1-year offer worth more than $21 million. I think he'll get more than that on the open market, so he'll decline that, but when he signs elsewhere, the Royals could nab an additional second-round or third-round pick. I think the Royals can get more than a second-round pick in return for Seth Lugo at the deadline. Now, if they can't, right, if the calls that J.J. Piccolo's fielding for Seth Lugo as we approach Thursday's deadline, if he's not impressed, if he values a second- or third-round pick more than whatever these teams are offering, no, I'm not saying give Seth Lugo away for pennies on the dollar. No, I want more than $1 worth for Seth Lugo. I want someone that can help this team in 2026, right? You talk about the Chicago Cubs and their outfield prospects at the AAA level. I want something that can help this team in 26 and 27, something that if it was available with the 61st overall pick, right, a second-round selection, obviously I would take that dude. I think that offer will come. And when that offer comes, I expect the Royals to pull the trigger. Now, I don't disagree. It's a white flag. But, so be it. Again, we have 103 games of evidence. The Royals, statistically, record-wise, are a below-average team. On the bases, they're one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Offensively, they're one of the worst teams in Major League Baseball. Now, if you want to tell me that the 6 games we've seen since the All-Star break is what we're going to watch over the course of the final 59, okay. I don't know why you believe that, because within those 6 games, there's also a shutout. There's also a game in which they were held to 1 run against Cal Quantrill of the Miami Marlins. I got 103 games of evidence, and that evidence says this is a below-average team. So when I look at Seth Lugo, if I can turn him into something more than a second-round pick, I'm doing it, because you're not going to sign him this offseason. I don't believe you're going to sign him because, again, you sure, offer him that 1-year, $21 million offer. I think he turns it down because I think someone will offer him 2 years. I think someone could give him a contract even better than the one that the Royals gave Michael Wacha a season ago. And keep that in mind, that they're already going to have a mid-30s right-hander on their team next year and the year after that. Waka do $18 million next year, $14 million in 2027. I don't know how many 36-year-old right-handers I want in my rotation come 2027. Now, for those that, Verner, shut up. I still want Lugo back. Okay. Well, then that means you're trading Chris Bubic this offseason because you're not signing both of those guys. Preferably, if it's up to me, I would rather sign Chris Bubic to a long-term deal this offseason than I would a 2-3-year deal for Seth Lugo.
Interesting stuff. Verner, what about what's going on with Perez, man? This team, 12 home runs since the All-Star break as a team. Sal Perez in his last 13 games has 9 home runs. In the last 13 games, he's got 19 hits. Summer Salvi, man. But, I mean, it's been incredible watching this dude.
Yeah, a few days off for the All-Star break. He's back in Florida getting some rest and relaxation. It's no surprise that the 35-year-old is performing well. Of course, it's a surprise that he's putting up those numbers that you just repeated. But you know what? Even as I say that, Salvi was so subpar for the first 2.5 months of the season. For a player his caliber, you have to think that that's going to be offset by a hot stretch. You don't become a guy that many just refer to as a future Hall of Famer. And I'm not just talking about Royals fans, but baseball men and women across the country refer to Salvi as a future Hall of Famer. That doesn't just go away. Now, it's not going to be present for all 162 games for the rest of his career, but having a 3-week, 1-month stretch like this for a player of that caliber that puts in that amount of work, that takes that kind of pride, that holds himself to that type of a standard, no, none of us should be surprised the same way none of us should have been surprised when Travis Kelce turned it on a season ago. The greats are the greats for a reason, and sure, Father Time is undefeated, but that greatness is always inside there, and it's going to show itself on occasion, no doubt about it.
Talking to our Royals insider Josh Verner, live from Vern's booth at Kauffman Stadium, the best in the business, Josh Verner. All right, final question for you, Josh. We saw Rich Hill pitch the other day, 45 years old. When the players did that thing where they can put whatever they want on the back of their jerseys, they put their nicknames or whatever, he had D. Mountain, which we know what that was, on the back of his jersey. Have you ever seen a better jersey than that? Because I now know what jersey I will get. And I don't buy jerseys very often. I will get that one.
Yeah, and he's of age, too. It's, to me, always easier to buy a jersey of someone that's older than you. A better jersey. Yeah, I was trying to make you feel good there. A better jersey than D Mountain. No. But I also wouldn't. I don't think you'll rock that. Maybe unless you wear it to the Flow Rida concert.
I would rock the D Mountain jersey, man.
Really?
Oh yeah.
But then it looks like you're searching for D Mountain. Like
no.
Like that's what you're desirous of. I don't know. What do I know?
Oh, Vern, shut up.
Jay Binkley searching for.
Oh no! You should represent what you are wearing. Never mind.
But that means you're a mountain of them.
No.
Like too many.
Oh man, I hope there's not a rain delay, Vern. Keep the rain away.
Well, you're the weather guy. You let the people know.
It didn't look great.
No, I agree. But
it didn't look great. Of course, I didn't think it was going to rain and win an hour and a half rain delay for the Mets game on Friday night. So what do I?
No, you're not that good when it comes to weather. No, stick to football, Binkley.
I used to be.
Isn't that what the text line
says?
says?
And Dusty Likens' bad radar that he had. Yeah. Regardless. Anyway, thanks, Vern.
All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Take care. Josh Verner, our Royals insider, right there. I always like talking. I got a little off the rails there at the end. Little off the rails with
little.
Vern. Did you hear that when he first came on, he was talking about getting flashed? Almost got flashed in his Vern's little booth. That screwed up his lineups, huh? Regardless, we'll go back to the Kansas City Chiefs and why I feel that this roster is better than last year's.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan. Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
And Doug.
Here we have the Limu Emu in its natural habitat, helping people customize their car insurance and save hundreds with Liberty Mutual. Fascinating. It's accompanied by his natural ally, Doug.
Limu, is that guy with the binoculars watching us?
Cut the camera. They see us.
Only pay for what you need at libertymutual.com.
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Savings vary. Underwritten by Liberty Mutual Insurance Company and affiliates. Excludes Massachusetts.
What we love about our ability to help patients at QC Kinetics is seeing their pure delight at finally being able to do the things they enjoy without pain.
I had a patient start treatment with me. He wanted to be able to be active again and do some of his sports that he really enjoyed.
Dr. Ashley Caravelli, a medical director for QC Kinetics, treats patients with chronic joint pain using their body's own biologics. The goal? Get them back to living their best lives without surgery or harmful drugs.
He came back and he goes, what I wasn't expecting was the ability to play on the floor with my grandchildren. Even just saying it now, I have goosebumps because it's changing those small moments that you take for granted.
Don't let joint pain rob you of those moments. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
It just warms my heart to be able to help people live the life they want to live and get those small moments back.
Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. 816-412-6299.
I'm Bob Burke, founder and chairman of Burke America Parts Group, a family of brands that includes RepairClinic.com, an appliance and HVAC parts solution company that's grown into an international brand. Before AmericanEagle.com, we partially launched a new technology platform developed by another firm. American Eagle helped take our technology to a whole new level with digital marketing, software development, and business insights into our key markets, appliances, HVAC, and outdoor power equipment, and did so both on time and on budget. AmericanEagle.com has the resources, experience, and talent needed to produce solutions. Our new technology platform, developed by AmericanEagle.com, has produced tremendous results with higher traffic, conversion, engagement, and online revenue. If you have any home repairs you need to take care of, check us out at RepairClinic.com. If you need a world-class website or technology project, then I would highly recommend AmericanEagle.com.
Call AmericanEagle.com at 773-NETWORK. That's AmericanEagle.com, 773-NETWORK.
There is only one National Summer Arms Show, and it returns to Kansas City this weekend only. Bigger than ever. Buy, sell, and trade with freedom lovers from coast to coast and border to border. All gathering at the KCI Expo Center for one incredible weekend. Discover vintage rifles and handguns, modern arms, and collectible militaria. From Civil War artifacts to today's tactical gear, there's something for everyone. Stock up on ammo, brass, reloading gear, and military surplus. Explore blades from everyday carry to high-end collectibles. Visit the Colt collectors, the high standard collectors, and the returning Marlin firearms collectors. There's no buyer's premium, just $15 a day or $20 for a weekend pass. Kids 15 and under are free with an adult admission. The 54th Annual National Summer Arms Show, this Saturday, July 26th from 9 to 5 and Sunday 9 to 3. It's the Midwest's highest caliber event and the 5th largest arms show in America. Details online at nationalsummerarmshow.com. That's nationalsummerarmshow.com.
Ready for your dream Las Vegas vacation? Enter BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you'll have the chance to win a customizable Las Vegas experience. It's easy to enter. Just sign up for a BetMGM account and download the app or log in with your existing account. Then place your bets on your favorite sports to earn up to 25 entries. You could win a trip to Vegas that includes an MGM Grand Stay, travel accommodations, resort credit, and your chance at an exclusive sports, entertainment, or club experience. Score the Las Vegas trip of your dreams by entering BetMGM's Your Legendary Vegas Getaway, and you could be on your way to your perfect Vegas vacation. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. New and existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Please make sure to read our full terms and conditions before participating in this promotion. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER in partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Tonight, expect a chance of showers and thunderstorms with a low of 74.
Weather brought to you by Staples. Have you heard? The Staples Easy button is back with even more easy. Press it for custom prints, shipping services, even passport photos. Staples. That was easy.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. Are you a pickleball newbie, club player, hardcore competitor? PickleCon is for you. 4 days of nonstop play, pro tips, and even a puppy yoga break. Join the fun. PickleCon.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Kansas side of things, you've got a stall 70 eastbound at 18th. The right lane is blocked. Also 70 eastbound just past 31st. That's a 2-car crash blocking the right lane. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with C-Dot on 96.5 The Fan.
Welcome back, 96.5 The Fan. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton producing the operation. Royals, Cleveland, tonight at the K. Vern's On Deck show comes your way at 6 o'clock. Hopefully there's no rain delay. Rob, I mean, you never know. Can't see weather. It's going to be cloudy. Blows away, doesn't rain. Maybe it does. I don't know. It's too hard to predict weather in this town anymore. Maybe it rains on the north side. Maybe on the south side. Maybe it leaves the stadiums wide open. Just never know. I was shocked, like I said, about the Mets being delayed.
Had you gone in? I know you were going to that game.
Did they go into?
Like, were you already in the stadium when they did call the rain delay? Or were you?
I was there.
Because
I was going to wait it out. There's a few sprinkles. I'm like, all right, whatever. And then all of a sudden, just boom.
I always feel bad for fans when, like, they call the rain delays late. Or like, or like a definitely a postponement, but delay. It's like, all right, a Friday night game, too. Hey, I'm in the parking lot, had a few drinks with friends. I'm going to head in right before first pitch. Give me that alert so that I'm not through the gates standing there watching the tarp on the field, paying $16 for a Busch Light and another $12 for a hot dog. Let me hang out in my car. Let me chill out there. Like, I always get frustrated when teams, and not just the Royals, call these rain delays so late. Like, get ahead of it. Don't be behind it.
Yeah, at least it did rain. Because what you hate is when they call a rain delay, it doesn't do anything.
Oh, then you're just sitting out there staring at radar, yeah.
Yeah. But hour and a half, I guess I'm kind of fast. You're wanting to see the Mets. They got to get this game in. Mets did just fly in, late that night, got in there. They got to get the series in. So they're playing the Mets at the K this year. Well, the Mets just came off a doubleheader. They played a doubleheader against Baltimore. They're not going to do it again. But then they had another delay for just a little bit on Sunday. Remember? There was a delay Sunday for like half an hour. It wasn't a very long delay. But it was a bit of one. But you just never know what you're going to get out there. But I don't know. Text line 913-586-7965. That's Jay Southland Tow Service text line. Is it raining in your area? And hopefully not. Hopefully they get this in because I'm looking forward to this series. I'm really looking forward to. And, of course, they'll find a way. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Cleveland. Then you get the Braves. And then you have the trade deadline coming up on Thursday. But the Kansas City Chiefs, someone asked me the other day, they said, what do you think of the Chiefs? What do you think of this roster? And, 15 wins last year. They go to the Super Bowl, AFC champions. We know what happened against the Eagles. Regardless, they still won 15 games. They won the division by 4 games. It was the only division in the AFC that had 3 playoff teams. Very impressive. Chiefs rack up their 9th straight AFC West title. The rest is history. How can this roster be better? They didn't go out and make elaborate moves and stuff in free agency. Christian Fulton, the Jalen Moore, that's what you bring in here. Going to be relying on some draft picks, not necessarily starters. I don't see many starters out of this draft class, to be honest with you. Maybe Josh Simmons, if he's ready to roll. Noah Williams, I think, has a chance. I think at least by week 5, Noah Williams could be a starter, even though the corner they drafted out of the Cal, even though he got some first-team reps today in practice, because Fulton's obviously been out on the PUP list at this point, so Noah Williams kind of got his chance. But top to bottom, yeah, granted, guys get older. You have to take that into account. One more year older, guys fall off the cliff. Well, just look at Kelsey. And I'm not buying into the old best shape of your life and all that stuff, but he is in better shape this camp than he was last year. What do you think about that, Rob? Because you've had your opinions on Kelsey and whatever, but he looks better, doesn't he?
He does. And we talked about it the other day on the show. They're not going to call it this because it's cliche and it's been used. But I think him showing up to camp and winning conditioning tests and being in fantastic physical condition, and you've heard him on his podcast and on other media platforms talk about how he has to be better in 2025 than he was in 2024, whether that's being a teammate or Purdue, whatever it is. There's like a feel to me of a little bit of last dance type of energy. It's like I don't think he wants to go out as, the 8th best tight end in the NFL, putting up 600 some odd yards and, being sluggish throughout. I don't think that's the way Travis Kelce wants to go out. I think he wants to go out as on top as possible, both in his individual performance and in his team performance. So I think you're seeing himself go all in on one last push, and it's not a negative. I mean, he's a 35-year-old tight end. It does have a little last dance, last run, one last hurrah type of energy because it feels like he's gearing up for one last season.
I agree. Do you feel that had they won that game against the Eagles, did you feel that he might have retired at that point? Like so much stuff off the field to do, whatever. Does he retire at that point?
Yes.
Or does he come back, try to get the 4th in a row?
I think if they had won, the odds of him retiring would have gone up. I mean, we talked about it a lot on the show, and it was widely reported. He really seemed, based on reports you see in conversations, the idea of retiring really weighed heavy on him last offseason. This wasn't just like, I thought about it, but I got more football in me. Let's get back to work. It was something that he really considered. There's probably a cut in the folder if I search for it. Nate Taylor talked about how the team said, hey, take your time, but on blank date, we need an answer. And they were coming up to that deadline. They didn't know yet. The team didn't know yet. So I think Travis Kelce really, really, really sat down and contemplated his football future. So if we change the variables and we say, hey, he had won and he walks out a winner in the confetti and he's celebrating with his world famous girlfriend again, a three-peat champion, I could see it maybe pivoting the other direction. It didn't go that way, and we'll see what happens this year. But I think that it would have been more possible that he retired if they had won because of just how seriously I believe he contemplated retirement regardless of the outcome of that game.
Well, I know he busted his ass training for the season. He's down in Florida doing all the things right. I mean, he has lost weight, whether it's 25 pounds or not, whether you want to believe it. But it is different. But not only that, it shows dedication, too, because remember mini camps? Remember he was in France promoting something the day before? And he showed up the next day to Chiefs camp, right? Like he flew over all night, from France and ended up. And I was like, all right, this guy's dedicated. This guy's dedicated. He showed up to that stuff. He's dedicated. There's a little bit of revenge factor on these Chiefs' mind. Not a little bit. There's a lot of bit as far as revenge factor on the mind for the Chiefs and getting things done this year. It didn't set well with him. And I remember after that Buccaneers Super Bowl loss, Kelsey's one of those guys, they asked him point blank after the game, is the season a success or not? And he said no. Like beforehand, any Chief that made the Super Bowl or someone say, oh, no, it's a season of success, made the Super Bowl and all that. But they had the mindset that because they'd already won one, that no, it wasn't a success because the way they lost. And I felt they all felt that way after the Eagles game. To be honest with you, when this series comes out on ESPN, the 6-part docuseries, it'll be 2 episodes a night per week for 3 weeks. That's going to be a constant reminder. That's going to be a constant reminder of how it ended. It's like watching the Titanic. The boat sinks at the end, and you still watch it. Well, we know how the Super Bowl ends with the Chiefs and Eagles because they had that film crew with them every day. It's not Hard Knocks. That's out in Buffalo right now. They're doing Hard Knocks there, but it's essentially like that because it was in with the Chiefs each and every week. Their home life, the field life, everything. The ESPN crews were there doing that for this Kingdom series that's coming out on ESPN in August, and that'll just serve as fuel to me. That'll serve as fuel of a reminder of how the season ended, the failure of that season going forward for the Chiefs. So the revenge factor, I think, is big, and that's another reason I think the roster's better because that revenge factor is on their mind. But the other thing, too, is, speaking of Kelce, obviously part of it, is his roster. Is he looking better than he did last year? He still had 97 catches last year, but the yards after catch way down, and he to himself will say that he didn't think he performed to his abilities last year. So I think that's different. Now, as far as the rest of the team, I think they're going to be better off at left tackle. Whether it's Simmons, whether it's Jalen Moore in there, I think it'll be better off. Now, left guard, that's going to be a downgrade. Just is because Joe Tooney was a first-team All-Pro. That just will. But this defensive line, the rotation, what they did in the draft with Omar Norman-Lott and his ability to get to the quarterback, Eshin Gelati and the pressures and, pushing guys like O'Menahue and Karlaftis that just got his big deal too, and this defensive line rotation. Nick Bolton, new contract, kind of being an anchor of that defense, working in these defensive backs like Noel Williams from Cal to this team. I look at it as different, man. I look at the running back situation different because last year you're going Pacheco, he gets hurt. You call up Kareem Hunt, a guy that played here before, was great, but he was on the couch. He didn't go to training camp, so you had to ease him into the system. It's different this year. He's ready to roll. You got Elijah Mitchell. He's hungry for another chance. Been hampered and hurt in his career. Gets $2.5 million contract with the Chiefs, 1.3 in guarantees. He's hungry. And hungry to make this running back room better. Carson Steele's fighting to stay on this roster again. He made the team last year. You got to fight again the next year. He's going to be fighting on getting on. I think this running back room is going to be better. And then you have Rashard Davis coming in here, the former wide receiver turned running back. He'll be on this team. He will make it. He was a 7th-round pick. I feel probably a 4th or 5th rounder the year before because the running back stock was different. But it's better. I think the running back room is better. I think the wide receiver room is better, knock on wood, with health. I think health makes the biggest difference. If they can stay healthy, we don't. Suspension for Rice. Yeah, it's probably coming. But you know what? He missed most of the year after Game 4 or during Game 4 last year when he got hurt, so he's gone anyway last year. So, yeah, I think it's an upgrade because he's not going to miss from between 2 to 6 games. It's probably what it'll be, but he'll be on there. Jalen Royals, nice draft pick, wide receiver. Juju coming back. Another training camp under his belt with the Kansas City Chiefs back. Xavier Worthy took a huge step forward because he came in here as a first-round pick, 4.21 speed guy, and that's how kind of he was labeled, undersized. And, you saw the criticisms when the Chiefs went that direction. I always liked Xavier Worthy. This guy down in Texas, 3 years in a row, led him in yards and receptions. That didn't happen by accident. That's the University of Texas. He led him in yards and receptions for 3 straight years, and 2 of those 3 years, he led him in touchdowns. The year he didn't lead, he was second. He's more than just a vertical or 9-route guy. More than that, he can run the route tree. He can do different things. But when he got in here, the pressure was going to be off, right? Because Hollywood Brown's here, same type of guy, Xavier Worthy. Then you have Rashee Rice in the equation, and all of a sudden you could kind of gradually bring your first-round pick, because there's always expectations with the first-round pick. But with Xavier Worthy, because they did pass on other receivers to get him. So he had kind of a little bit of pressure because of that. But usually you have that pressure being a first-round pick. But he was going to be behind these guys. Then all of a sudden they get hurt. And all of a sudden he had to step up. And it took him a while to get kind of acclimated to what they're doing and learn the offense, and especially the spacing on the sidelines to stay in bounds or not when Mahomes throws the football. So it took a while. But he did it, man. He put his head down. He studied the playbook. He became the guy. He had to be. By necessity, his first-round pick had to grow up and be the guy for a team that's been the back-to-back Super Bowls. That was now on his shoulders. He had to go and do that, and he did. To get to the postseason, leads him in yards and receptions. He became the dude. So having him back this year with those receivers, if they stay healthy, I like the wide receiver room better. I like the tight end room better because I like the steps Noah Gray's been taking. Behind Kelsey, I really like the development of Noah Gray. I remember we had a bet a couple years ago. Remember, Rob, I said, I think our bet was 12 catches or more for Noah, remember? And that might have been a stretch back then. He didn't end up getting it, by the way. He didn't get it, but that was a stretch. Remember we talked about expectations and Noah Gray? But now you'd easily say that because he's done that. Jared Wiley's coming back healthy after his injury last year. That's good news. Jake Brenningstool, undrafted. Will he make the team or not? That's the question. Now, punter battle with Matt Ariza. 2 punters with this team. But, yes, I think top to bottom, this roster is better than last year. Then you throw in the intangibles. Then you throw in the embarrassment to the Eagles in the Super Bowl. And all these guys will talk about, Leo Chanel talking about, just kind of being down and stuff. And now they get themselves back up and kind of forget about what happened last season. And they've done a good job of kind of pushing it in the wayside and just concentrating on the season. But again, come August 14th, they're going to be reminded all again. Because it's not on Comedy Central. It's not, buried on some cable channel you're not watching. It'll be on ESPN. And the rest of the world will get to see the Chiefs' downfall once again in the Super Bowl. And that'll serve as a reminder. And I think that vengeance factor, because Lamar Jackson talked about having revenge this year for the Ravens. They got beat by the Bills in the playoffs. No, revenge is the team that loses the Super Bowl. They're the ones that can say revenge because they were so close to the ultimate prize. They were so close to putting that ring on. They were so close to be the only back-to-back-to-back Super Bowl champions. They actually made it there. 15 games they won. They made it back to the Super Bowl. All these things will serve as a reminder. You flip on the TV, and they're talking about the dynasty being done. Hell, I've even heard Mahomes get his criticism nationally. ESPN does their quarterback rating system every year that they don't ask the media. They ask actual executives and front office personnel to rate who the best quarterback in the National Football League is. Yeah, he was still number one, but it went way down. He was 60% now. He's been way higher than that in the past, but he dropped because people are starting to doubt it. And again, he's only 29, turns 30 this year, not even in his quarterback prime yet. We haven't even seen the best of what he can be. He's been damn good to great. He'll be a Hall of Famer for what he's done so far. Well, the 30s are when quarterbacks take off, and he will. He's got 17 playoff wins under his belt heading this team. He can lead them. But not only that, and I think the biggest key is you keep this coaching staff together. I mean, offensive coordinators, Matt Nagy, Doug Peterson, that stuff doesn't matter. Andy Reid calls the plays. That's what matters. Andy Reid's still here. Number 2 all-time in postseason coaching wins. Only 3 behind Belichick. 4th all-time in coaching wins. Keeping Spags around. Spags with 4 defensive coordinator Super Bowl rings for doing that. Didn't get that head coaching opportunity. Stayed here. It's got his guy Dave Tope doing his special teams again. Again, you look at these powerhouses in college football throughout the 80s and 90s. It was these coaches that kept their coaching staffs together, and they've been able to do that. Yeah, they've lost some front office attrition. Sure, they lost Ballard to the Colts. They lost Ryan Poles to the Chicago Bears in the offseason. Lose somebody in the front office to Carolina as well. Sure, they take their hits, but Brett Veach is still here. So the 3-headed monsters we always talk about with the quarterback and receiver and running back, it's Mahomes, it's Reid, it's Spags, and I'll say it's actually a 4-horse deal because then I'll add Brett Veach for that front office. It takes all of them, man. It's not just the players. It's not just the coaches. It's not just the front office. It's all of them, man. And that's what makes this team work. This is what makes this team go to 7 straight AFC title games. It's a team effort, what they do. And so far, they've done it well. But you add up all those things, the roster, love the draft, roster construction, the revenge on their mind. Put it this way, Mahomes loves golf. He was in the match twice. He hasn't played in the Reno Tahoe, the Celebrity Golf Classic, twice. 2 years in a row, he hadn't played in it. I've noticed a lot of these players cut down on commercials and everything else. It's focus, man. It's revenge. It's taking it out on your opponents. Everybody's talking up the Chargers. They're talking up the Broncos, putting the Chiefs sometimes second, sometimes third in the division. National talking heads, just like they do all year. And at the end of the year, the Chiefs just do what they do. They win it again, end up going to the big dance. So you're watching the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. That's been the biggest thing. That's been the biggest thing with this team. That's why I think this roster is better than years before because of the experience they've got to the postseason. Nothing rattles them. There's nothing teams can do defensively that shakes Mahomes or Reid. They've seen it all. They make adjustments to it. So you put all those things, all those factors in there, yeah, this is a better roster than it was last year, 100%. Coming up next, though, there's a guy on defense they drafted that I really, really like who's getting a lot of good run up in St. Joe. Next.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your new home for K-State Athletics, 96.5. The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hey guys, it's Carrington Harrison from The Drive. Summer is officially here, and that means the sun is out and the grill is hot and life is calling you. But what if you're just not feeling it? Low energy, brain fog, maybe you have no drive. It might not just be your age. It could be low testosterone. At Heartland Men's Health, they know what you're going through, and they know exactly how to help. Low T can lead to poor sleep, weight gain, low sex drive, and zero motivation, but it doesn't have to be that way. Do you know what the first step is? It's taking the free Low T quiz at heartlandmenshealth.com. It only takes 2 minutes. Then schedule your $99 consult. That includes lab work and a full medical review. And if your treatment starts that day, that means your visit is on the house. Don't wait. Heartland Men's Health is changing lives in Overland Park, Independence, and North Kansas City. Call this number, 844-447-6600, or visit heartlandmenshealth.com today. That one phone call can change your life, can change your summer. So get back to feeling like yourself. Pick up the phone and call Heartland Men's Health today.
Here's Comedians and Sketchers Getting Comfortable, presented by Hands Free Skechers Slip-Ins.
Hey, I'm Bobby Slayton, and I'm here with my pal, comedian, and Skechers ambassador, Mr. Howie Mandel.
Why did it take so long to invent something as amazing as slip-ins? I know it seems simple, but it took Skechers to invent a better pair of shoes.
Yep, with Skechers Slip-ins, you just step it and go. You don't have to touch your shoes. And by the way, Slip-ins are for the whole family, men, women, and kids. In all your favorite Skechers styles, find Skechers Slip-ins at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever stylish footwear is sold.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hot damn! Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% kick of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Find what you love and love what you find at Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
What we've been doing is pulling one of the people that sells the car every month and giving them a prize.
Give Me the VIN is giving away $25,000 in cash every month.
David Ling sold your car last
I sold a 2020 RX 350.
Yep.
Yeah.
Open that check up and tell me what it says.
$25,000.
$25,000. Give me that. David Ling of Claremont, California is the latest winner in GimmeTheVin.com's big cash giveaway.
$25,000. What am I getting for being here?
No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GimmeTheVin.com. Sell us your car.
Hi, I'm Mitch Holtis, voice of the Chiefs. Be a part of history by attending Chiefs training camp in St. Joseph, Missouri this summer. See the Chiefs and make a St. Joe memory. Whether it's touring one of the many museums, staying in a historic home turned bed and breakfast, experiencing quality dining and brewery options, hitting the River Bluff bike trails, or supporting a vibrant art scene, St. Joseph has something for everyone. Go to stjomo.com to view or download a free visitor guide and plan your trip. Produced in cooperation with Visit Missouri.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
It's time. Time for the pro to get everything for the entire job, all from one partner. To get access to over 3 million products, including many products you won't find in our stores. It's time to get delivery on your schedule or next day on over 50,000 products. And time to get dedicated support on the job site or in our stores. From ordering to planning, we've got you. One partner, any job, all in. Ask about all we can now do at the Pro Desk. The Home Depot Pro, it's about time.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen one too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The technicians you can trust with your house keys. Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric.
Getting the job done right the first time protects your home, time, and budget. This month, get $500 off a water softener and filtration combo. Schedule at anthonyphce.com.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Okay, we've got a new wreck. It's a two-car crash just past Blue Springs, 70 westbound at Adams Dairy Parkway. The left lane is blocked. Down south, that stall still there, 470 eastbound past Blue Ridge, right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center, I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison on 96.5 The Fan and the Odyssey app.
Welcome back to The Drive. Jay Binkley, Rob Brenton producing the operation. When the Chiefs drafted Omar Norman Lott, fans were, kind of mixed about it. They looked around. You look at his starts and whatnot, because you won't see any from last year, right? I mean, he started before. He transferred in there from Arizona State, transferred into Tennessee. But 6'2", 300 pounds, was in a rotation at Tennessee, 6-man rotation that they used. He had the top pass rush win rate, 12.6% last year. Best win percentage rate, 18.9%. Any interior defensive lineman in college football, FBS last year was him. 27 pressures on just his 139 pass rush snaps. He only finished like 20th in defensive snaps for Tennessee. He was just better and maximized every single snap he was in there. It's like the perfect fit for what you're using him for. Rotation. Chiefs use the defensive line rotation, keeps guys fresh. They did basically the same thing at Tennessee, so be acclimated from that coming into the NFL. And, yeah, that stands out. Ashton Gelati, same thing, led the NCAA in quarterback pressures last year. Sack numbers were down, but he was getting to the quarterback and disrupting plays. He led the ACC in sacks 2 years ago. So you see why they're getting him. But Norman Lott's one of these guys, you'll know. He'll get there and go, wow, where's this been? Chris Jones shows you as good as you can do it, rushing from the interior and the outside. Norman Lott's one of those guys that can get there from the interior. It's kind of what the Chiefs need. Norman Lott's one of those guys that he's got one of those motors you really like, didn't care about the rotation. Hey, kept him fresh, whatever. Guy could have been a starter, whatever. They didn't do that. It's just not what they did at Tennessee. They rotated guys in and out all the time because it was in the SEC. They got tired going against high-powered offenses. That's what they did. This is what Nate Taylor had to say about Omar Norman Lott so far and what's impressing him up at Chiefs training camp.
All business, has some dry humor to him. I'm already in love because they've really pushed him into the rotation with the starters. And it's like, hey, man, if you could just challenge Creed Humphrey, if you can just challenge, Trey Smith, two of the best interior, offensive linemen in the league, then, yeah, it shows that you're on a nice little track, too, to maybe have a more sizable impact than we could have anticipated when they drafted him. So the fact that they've let Mike Pennell just, hey, Mike Pennell's done this for a decade. I don't need to see him this entire month. What I need to see is Omar Norman Lott really demonstrate just how quick, how powerful, some of the pass rushing moves he's starting to develop now, and the fact that, hey, this is the one player I think so far that Steve Spagnuolo says, okay, I want to see what we got, and you might play sooner than I'm normally playing rookie defensive tackles at this point in my career, how I run, my system.
That's coming from Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider, of course, the Chiefs writer and broadcaster, too, on ESPN and ESPN.com. His thoughts on Norman Lott getting reps, in with the ones, getting in a rotation. Coming away impressed with him. It's one of those guys when you get to St. Joe, you want to see him. I want to see him in the one-on-one drills. What can Lott do against some of the offensive linemen when he's in there? But, yeah, there was a lot of people that was getting a little fear on that at first. Well, you look at the start numbers and stuff like that without realizing that, this is not exactly what he does. There's a reason why he didn't rack up those start numbers because not what Tennessee did. So once you start figuring out all that, it changes. Omar Norman Lott himself spoke at training camp about getting those reps with the ones.
I mean, it's an honor. I just got to use them the right way. I'm working on not messing up and just playing hard.
And here was Omar Norman Lott on his, if he's ever experienced anything like going against Creed Humphrey, who is the highest paid center, the best center in the National Football League. Good experience from Omar Norman Lott.
Nah. It was like, I'll tell you this, think it was yesterday. We had a rep, and he was like running an outside zone play. I was trying to move with him, and I was like, damn, like mid-rep, I'm like, damn, this dude he's a brick wall. He's solid, and he's a great athlete.
So he's talking about Creed Humphrey there, being that brick wall. And, of course, the only question we always have is the difference between the college and the pros. Because, again, when you get to the pros, it's about speed, it's about physicality, and it's about knowing your assignment. It's just much different. You don't have a grace period in the National Football League. It's put up or shut up now, and that's, I think, the biggest difference between the NFL and college. But this is what he has seen from being at Chiefs camp and when he was with Tennessee.
Just a level of physicality. I mean, we're kind of already moving. I play a position, me and the O-lineman and my teammates, we all play a position where we're in contact and engaged every play. So it kind of doesn't really make a difference, but it just gets more physical.
It gets more physical. Did you like the pick? Because I know Chris and I had actually mocked him, a couple times that he was mocked. We actually liked the pick a lot.
I liked the pick. At the time, I was under the impression he would be a redshirt because they had brought in Tillery. They had Mike Pennell. They obviously have Chris Jones. And I felt like he will work into that rotation. I kind of thought he would kind of be like a Turk Wharton type. Like it would take some time, but eventually he can turn to a player. Very early indications. And again, they're not in pads yet. They don't practice tomorrow, so it's very, very early. But early indications are he is exceeding what I believed he could be in year one, because I kind of viewed him as a redshirt player, which I had my frustration that they added a redshirt guy in the second round, but it sounds like he's not a redshirt guy.
Yeah, we've seen that before. Remember Tano Passanio? That was your redshirt guy. And we've seen other teams do it, but again, it's going to be a different look. Again, when you look at what the Chiefs did and through this draft, it's a lot of rotational pieces, man. It's like Rashard Davis will be a rotation in that backfield. Jalen Royals be rotated in wide receivers. I do think Noel Williams will get rotated in, but I think this guy could actually be a starter at some point for this team this season. Maybe 6 weeks in the season he is. And Josh Simmons, wait and see, but clearly that's going to be a starter for this team. 4-year contract with that 5th-year option, you will see him. But there's some excitement. I know we talk a lot about the offense and the receivers and the left tackle battles, but there's some good things going on defense. I mean, there's great things with, guys like Charles Omenihu that has a chance, came back for the Chiefs, probably for less money than when he wanted to or thought he could get on the market. He's going to be going out there to prove it that he can do damage to the quarterback, get that big money contract at one time in his life, last time probably to get that. He's going to have that incentive to do that. You put up numbers, man. If you're with Chris Jones, you put up the numbers, man. Future Hall of Famer, best defensive tackle in the NFL. Hey, you're on that line, you put up numbers. I think Carl Loftus, who just got his deal with the Chiefs, which I did think saved the Chiefs money, to be honest with you, because I think he's going to have even more of a breakout year than he's already had, going from the 8 sacks. I think he at least gets 12, to be honest with you. He's left so many sacks on the field. So many times he's got there, disrupted. He gets to the quarterback, high pressure rate. He gets there, but sometimes his quarterback just gets away. I think even with 12 to 14 sacks, something like that, Karlaftis would have been a lot more expensive than what they got George now as the 10th highest paid pass rusher in the NFL. These things change. When you're on that defensive line with Karlaftis, you got Omenihu out there trying to make his cash. You get the rotation, Omar Norman Lott. Defense is going to be fun. Keep in mind, no running back ran for 100 yards against the Chiefs all year. All year. None of them did it. Not even Saquon Barkley in the Super Bowl. They didn't do it. Not 100 yards against the Chiefs. The only guy who had over 100 yards rushing against the Chiefs was quarterback for the Ravens, Lamar Jackson. He had 122, but that was from the quarterback position. But he's damn good, and you all know that anyway. But that's it. And so I can see that. But I think the sack numbers, man, 18 sacks, 18th in sacks last year, tied with Buffalo. They were number 2 for 2 straight years when nobody talked about it. That was like a mystery. Everybody kept talking about the Eagles back in Super Bowl 57 and that vaunted pass rush they had, number 1 in the NFL. The Chiefs were number 2. And I don't know if they felt disrespected or not, but they were disrespected. They were disrespected the following year because they ended up number 2 in sacks that time as well. And Spags did it by magic. I mean, he would do it by blitzing guys that aren't blitzers. Your middle linebackers, your Leo Chenal would come in there. Nick Bolton would get the quarterback, the safety blitzes, the corner blitzes that he would use. He just found a way to get it and do it and get the job done. And all of a sudden, you look at the end of the year, and they're second in sacks in the NFL. Then they slide all the way back to 18th. That's a big slide. That's why they a couple pass rushers in this particular draft. Anyway, it's about 5 o'clock in Kansas City. Coming up next, we play the hits.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
This man was a bona fide scrub.
On 96.5 The Fan, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Okay, we've got a new wreck. It's a two-car crash just past Blue Springs, 70 westbound at Adams Dairy Parkway. The left lane is blocked. Down south, that stall's still there, 470 eastbound past Blue Ridge. Right lane blocked from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center. I'm Val, 96.5 The Fan.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
Oh, by the way, Ivan's no longer on the project. His wife got a new job, so they're moving across the country.
Robin's top researcher is deviating to a new market. This isn't standard.
And now we're short-staffed. Who's gonna finish all these projects?
She needs a cluster of new data analysts, and there's no margin for error.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Put our matching platform to work so you can spend less time searching and more time connecting with talented candidates. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Hot damn! Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% kick of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Get in the zone, AutoZone. Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th. Get in the zone, AutoZone. Restrictions apply.
Find what you love and love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you.
With the lowest prices for over 30 years, find what you love only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly, B21.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Tune in to exclusive Chiefs training camp coverage live from St. Joe on 96.5 The Fan. All access player and coach interviews that you can only hear on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs training camp coverage is sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Flooded bathroom? AC on the fritz? When things go wrong, you need reliable service fast. Call Hamilton Plumbing, Heating, AC, and Rooter and take $50 off any HVAC, plumbing, or electrical repair over $200. The pros at Hamilton are ready 7 days a week to fix the problem. Over 40 years experience, more than 8,000 5-star reviews, plus our exceptional service guarantee means you can trust Hamilton to bring comfort and calm back to your home. Visit callhamilton.com for details, terms, and conditions. License number 2025-11121.
Final days. Diamonds Direct Summer Showcase ends this Sunday, but there's still time to make it unforgettable. Get an extra 20% off almost everything. Engagement rings, wedding bands, earrings, gold jewelry, tennis bracelets, and stunning fashion jewelry. Plus, this weekend only, top designers from New York and LA are live in store with exclusive collections you can't find anywhere else. The sparkle, the savings, the moment. Don't miss it. Only through Sunday, only at Diamonds Direct. Appointments are filling fast. Get details at diamondsdirect.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you could hear Old Spice Fiji Antiperspirant, what would it sound like? First, you'd start with Fiji Antiperspirant's amazing scent of palm trees. Add pure notes of fresh coconut and layer on 24/7 odor and sweat protection. You won't hear any dyes or parabens because with Fiji, you won't have any. So while your regular antiperspirant sounds like this, Old Spice Fiji sounds like this. Sounds like it smells amazing.
There is only one National Summer Arms Show, and it returns to Kansas City this weekend only. Bigger than ever. Buy, sell, and trade with freedom lovers from coast to coast and border to border. All gathering at the KCI Expo Center for one incredible weekend. Discover vintage rifles and handguns, modern arms, and collectible militaria. From Civil War artifacts to today's tactical gear, there's something for everyone. Stock up on ammo, brass, reloading gear, and military surplus. Explore blades from everyday carry to high-end collectibles. Visit the Colt collectors, the high standard collectors, and the returning Marlin firearms collectors. There's no buyer's premium, just $15 a day or $20 for a weekend pass. Kids 15 and under are free with an adult admission. The 54th Annual National Summer Arms Show, this Saturday, July 26th from 9 to 5 and Sunday 9 to 3. It's the Midwest's highest caliber event and the 5th largest arms show in America. Details online at nationalsummerarmsshow.com. That's nationalsummerarmsshow.com.
This report is brought to you by Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Surfside Iced Tea and Vodka and Surfside Lemonade and Vodka. Proud partner of the Kansas City Royals. Each can of Surfside is only 100 calories and the best part, 0 bubbles. Grab it at the K or ask for it at your favorite bars and liquor stores.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel so that you can watch every show, plus video clips and shorts all right from your phone, desktop, or tablet. The Fan's YouTube channel at 965 The Fan, KFNC FM and AM, HD1 and HD2, Kansas City, in Odyssey Sports Station.
Welcome back to The Drive. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton producing the operation. It's now 5:04. Means people are off work. I don't think anybody has the 9 to 5 anymore. It's just 9 to 6 or whatever.
By the way, I got a little rain out here now, Bink.
Oh, is it raining now?
A little rain out here.
Raining. I wonder if it's raining at the ballpark. I wonder if Vern's
Hope
chiming
not.
in. Yeah, let's hope not. But anyway, rain. But you know what's going to happen. For some reason, when the Chiefs go to training camp, it just rains everywhere. Rains here, rains there.
Oh, I know that very well. How many times have you had to run in studio because I had to maneuver around because of some rain?
Now I check the weather, before I do anything. I'm like, all right, see, it's going to pour in St. Joe because it loves to do that during training camp. We'll see what happens, but definitely want to get these games in with the Royals and Cleveland tonight. I think it's so important. But for now, Rob, let's play the hits.
Your workday is over.
Oh, yeah.
You're headed home, and now you're stuck in traffic. Time to get caught up on the biggest stories in Kansas City and around the country with CDOT and Rob. It's time for the hits. Number 1.
Well, Bank, we'll get to the Chiefs here in a minute as they are one of the top stories today in Kansas City as they continue to practice up in St. Joe. The pads are coming on today.
Pad day.
First, let's talk about those aforementioned Kansas City Royals as they have a massive series looming this weekend against the Cleveland Guardians. Bink, do you think this series is the biggest one of the season, and do you feel that perhaps a sweep, which I know is a big ask, could change how the Royals approach the deadline in under a week, or do you think it's a foregone conclusion Seth Lugo and co. might be on their way out?
Well, let's hope not, because, again, if you get to that dance, things happen. Wildcard teams make that World Series all the time. They can do damage in this. Think what you want about the Royals, but they are number 2 in all of baseball in team ERA. The hardest thing to be in Major League Baseball is be good with your pitching staff. The currency is baseball, is what Dayton Moore used to call it. It's tough, but yeah, it's the biggest series of the year. I know we say this stuff in April or May when it's team, you want to set the tempo, say you're the team to beat in the division. Don't look down. Detroit's the last, 10 of 11 games? It's going to be hard to catch them. But regardless, the Royals 4.5 back now from the third wild card. Cleveland sits 3 back. So you look at how pivotal these 3 games are. The Royals came out of the weekend ahead of Cleveland. The Royals were in second place, then Cleveland passed them. But yeah, it's monumental. And when you put that coupled with the fact that the trade deadline 6 games away, you got this 3 with Cleveland, 3 versus Atlanta. It's 13 games under 500 themselves. Very winnable games, but again, you never say winnable because the Royals got swept by the A's. It does happen. So it's hard to look at different teams saying, well, they should beat them or not. But Again, this hitting's look different. 12 home runs since the All-Star break. Sal Perez is playing on a different planet right now. Vern took a call the other night on the postgame show about trading Salvi. And 13 games, last 13 games, 9 home runs, 19 hits in those 13 games. Dude is playing off the planet, or outside this planet. It's been unreal to watch him. But yeah, I do consider it the biggest because of Cleveland being in front of them, and of course the trade deadline looming for the Royals.
You also think that you're also one of the few people I think that believes this, that you wouldn't give up on Lugo for a trade here in about 5-6 days. You think that's not worth it. You would hold on to, I don't want to call him an ace because the Royals have a lot of good pitching. One of the top pitchers in the Royals organization.
Well, he was. He was second last year in AL Cy Young voting. So, yeah, he's damn good, and he parlayed it now. He's 35 years old. I get that. But what message does it send, well, to the fan base? That's one thing, but the players is the other. Because you had Vinny, you have others have talked about, the difference in Lugo. They don't want to see him go. They want to see him pitch again for the Kansas City Royals. They want their shot because we all know, and here's the thing, it's going to come down to one game or so to be in that wild card. Don't forget the Royals were just one game ahead of Seattle last year when they made the postseason. One game. And do you look at Lugo as the guy that can win you several games remaining before the season? I think he can. But when you're one game away from not even being in the playoffs, can Seth Lugo be the difference between that? Yes, he can be. So, yeah, well, if you trade Lugo, it's waving the white flag. But with the caveat on that, what do you get in return? Do you get something that will help you, guaranteed to help you the next year and beyond? Or is it going to be a guy that's coming in here, he's putting up big AAA numbers like Cam Devaney, somebody like that, putting up good AAA numbers, he gets the pros, hits 176, goes back to Omaha, and you never hear from him again. And then he converts to pitcher at some point in his career. Because you just don't want to see that floundering guy come up here, get sent back down. Get something tangible for Seth Lugo if that's what you do. But the Royals are going to have to probably sweeten that pot. It's going to have to be Seth Lugo and probably Blake Mitchell. To be honest with you, one of the catching prospects that are 1 and 2 in the organization is they have catchers now 1 and 2 as far as their top prospects, including Carter Jensen, who went to Park Hill High School.
Number 2.
All right, Bink, let's pivot to the Kansas City Chiefs. They are off tomorrow, but they practiced today, and they are slapping the pads on and getting after it on Sunday up in St. Joe. Bink, you said if you're heading up to St. Joe on Sunday, there is one thing to watch. It's not just Josh Simmons. It's the whole left side of the offensive line. I know you were critical of the pick, but looking at Simmons and Kingsley Suamataia, do you believe the Chiefs are in a good spot at left guard and left tackle, or do you believe a Jalen Moore or a Mike Caliendo or something could usurp the players we've seen before the pads came on?
Well, it looks good in shorts so far, right? Looks good in shorts, but a lot of things look good in shorts. Quarterbacks around the league are throwing touchdown passes, 80 yards or whatever, because guys are in shorts going against defensive backs. They'll be selling insurance in another year. So, yeah, you put the pads on and things change. Bullets fly. Live action. Going against guys trying to, cut their teeth, make a living in the National Football League. Things change. They've been in shorts, man. They haven't had that contact. Even the last day of their couple days of their mandatory minicamp, they're not hitting. They'll be hitting Sunday. Fresh day off on Saturday. They've had nothing but wearing the shorts these 4 days of practice. Get that day off. Put the pads on Sunday. Going to be a packed house up in St. Joe with all the Chiefs fans. Yeah, it's much different when you get there. But, yeah, all eyes, to me, on the left side of the offensive line. Sure, I want to see the receivers and the running backs and those type of things. But I really want to see that offensive line because the offensive line will be predicated upon what everybody else does. The running game can be better with the good offensive line. The passing game, giving Mahomes more time to throw the football, definitely different. Again, the Chiefs were 31st last year in 25-yard plus touchdowns. They had 6, or not touchdowns, but passes. They only had 6 last year. They didn't cut it because they can do it. They have the speed. They've got the quarterback. They just need time to do it, and they can do it. So, yeah, seeing Josh Simmons' development, that's good. We'll see what he does with the pads on. Again, I've always said don't rush it, man. You have him at least 4 years, and you got the 5th-year option, but you don't want to rush it because this guy could be a fixture for the future for this team. You ran out, got Jalen Moore. He's been on the right side. He's a natural left tackle, went to the right side because Juwan Taylor has been on the PUP list. He'll be coming back soon. Jalen Moore, love his versatility. Went to Western Michigan as a tight end. That's how he was recruited, so it shows his durability, his versatility, and being able to move outside the pocket. So I like him in that situation. But again, the pads coming on, a big difference. Now, as far as the left guard, can Kingsley, the former tackle, left tackle for the Chiefs, be moved to guard and have success? Saw it with a cup of coffee there against the Broncos at the end of the season. But Kingsley's interesting to me. Might be one of the more interesting guys on this roster. What are you going to get? Because dude can maul people, and he can get out in space, and he can run. That was his biggest thing through the draft process is, wow, look at this guy play. He can do a lot of good things. Not a ton of experience at BYU, but a lot of people looked at him maybe being a first-round pick. Wasn't to be. It was a second-round pick. Probably good value for him there, but it did set the Chiefs back in a way as far as left tackle's concerned, because they thought they had their left tackle here in the starting job, and then all of a sudden you get to real games, it's like, that ain't it. That's not the guy. That's not the dude. So now you got to go back in the first round and get another left tackle in Josh Simmons. But keep in mind, had Kingsley panned out a left tackle, all of a sudden that's not a problem. They could have used that first-round pick somewhere else on this football team, but it didn't pan out. So they've gone second round and first round on left tackles the last 2 years. You can't keep doing that. Something's got to work. I hope Simmons works out.
Number 3.
Bink, our third and final hit of the day today, talks about the team as a whole. You earlier today proclaimed that this year's roster, there's reason for optimism because it is in a better spot than last year's roster. Bink, do you truly believe the 2025 roster is better than 2024 roster, or is it just a lot of the same? Not a negative, but just a lot of the same.
It's a lot of the same with more experience, more confidence, and they have a chip on their shoulder. But I like it. I mean, all around. I mean, the running back room is better. I mean, you had Pacheco that was hurt last year. You had Kareem Hunt, had to come off the couch to the team. Didn't even have training camp last year. He's got training camp in the heat and the rain of St. Joe. That's good. Elijah Mitchell comes in. He's been often banged up in his career. A chance to prove himself, a speed guy. You draft Bashard Davis, the former receiver, turned running back at SMU. So this running back, and Carson Steele. You know, whether you keep a fullback or not, but Carson Steele made this team last year as an undrafted guy. He's the guy they brought in a top 30 visit, by the way, but he was undrafted. But this running back room is better. The wide receiver room, to me, is better as well. There's a lot of different names, not necessarily, but Hollywood Brown is in the same position he was last year. It was in a prove-it deal. Go out, take the one-year deal, prove it with Reed calling the plays, Patrick Mahomes throwing the football, put up big numbers, and get the bag in free agency. Well, it didn't work out because he got hurt against Jacksonville in the preseason. So that ended up kind of helping the Chiefs, to be honest with you, because he didn't get that mega contract with another team, and he ended up right back here with the Kansas City Chiefs, and he already knows the offense, which is another bonus, having the same cast of characters, kind of know the formation, what to expect from being with the Chiefs all year. So that was huge that he's back for this team. Xavier Worthy took a huge step last year. Guy that was drafted in the first round. Naturally, you have pressure from being a first-round pick. But coming here, he didn't necessarily have that pressure. You're on a team that had been to back-to-back Super Bowls. That does create pressure. But Hollywood Brown was here. A lot of the same skill set he had. Rashee Rice was here. Rashee Rice was off to having a great year in the National Football League last year until he was hurt against the Chargers. Then he had to step up. Then it's like, all right, forget about this, waiting behind Hollywood and Rashee Rice. You're the dude now, man. You got to step up and go. We don't want to feed Justin Watson eight times a game. You got to step up and be the guy, and he did. As the season progressed, he got better and better as it went. So, yeah, having a year with Xavier Worthy under the belt, that'll only help this wide receiver room. Having Jalen Royals being drafted, smart guy. Andy Reid's putting installations in, and he gets it. He's even commented on how smart he is and how he's picking up the offense and all the intricacies that they have with it. That's good. So, yeah, the wide receiver room, in my opinion, if they stay healthy, and that's an if, because last year you went into it, lighting it up at St. Joe, lighting it up. Every time you look, 70-yard, 80-yard bombs, then boom, reality happens. They're 31st in the NFL in 25-yard passes down the field. That's just reality of the National Football League and getting hurt. So on paper, I do like it better. Kelsey, he did have 97 catches last year. As a matter of fact, only Larry Fitzgerald has more 90-plus catch seasons from wide receivers or tight ends in NFL history. He has 8. Travis Kelce's done it 7 times, and they've all been in a row. So if Travis Kelce gets the 90-catch plateau, which is going to be tough this year, going to be tough with the other receivers, he'll tie Fitzgerald for the most 90-catch seasons ever in the National Football League. He's already the record holder for most 80-yard catches in a season. He stands alone. Nobody ahead of him. And you know what? He took it to heart. He trained. He's lost some weight. He was in France promoting something. Showed up here at minicamp the next day. Shows his dedication. Like, all these guys are showing their dedication. That last dance energy, like Rob said with Jordan, that's different. Noah Gray has really started to emerge with this team. Blocking, catching, you name it, he does it all. Noah Gray is a very good backup tight end in the National Football League. Jared Wiley was a pick I really liked. That fourth round, man, when he was picked, I was like, man, I like this Jared Wiley kid a lot. And he got hurt. But now he's back to being healthy, and we get to see him. And then undrafted guy Jake Brenningstool, whether he makes a team or practice squad or whatever. But that's better. Defensive line, I think, is better with the additions of Gelati and with Omar Norman Lott as far as guys that can get to the quarterback. Having Omenihu back here, healthy and on a prove-it type deal, that bodes well for the Kansas City Chiefs. George Karlaftis got taken care of financially. He's happy, of course. He would be with the Kansas City Chiefs. I'm expecting big things with him. I love the Noah Williams pick at cornerback. I like bringing in Christian Fulton, even though he's been hurt at this point, and love the safety play for the Kansas City Chiefs as well. But, yeah, I think this is a better roster than last year. It also helps keeping your head coaching staff together, keeping the same head coach year in, year out. It's Andy Reid, man. His worst record as a Chiefs head coach is 9-7, 2 games over 500. That's ridiculous. Guy wins 12 games a year. He's good for 12 games a year. Bank on it. Number 2 all-time postseason coaching wins. But he keeps Spags around. Spags didn't get that head coaching job. Normally, guys with a lot of success that put rings on their fingers get other chances to be head coaches. He's had his chance. He's just not getting them. But you know what? He's got 4 rings as a defensive coordinator. He gives other quarterbacks fits in the National Football League. So having Spags back, having Toe back, having that cast of characters back and Reed, Spags, and Toe back is huge for this team. Dave Merritt and Stephon the secondary, huge for this team as well. Andy Hack, you name it, but keep it intact. And keeping the front office, yeah, there's some attrition. Ryan Poles had gone a couple years ago to Chicago. They really liked him. They've lost Ballard to Indianapolis. We'll see how that works out, but Veach is still here. But as long as you keep Veach in the front office, and as long as you keep Andy Reid head coach, Mahomes at quarterback, Spags the defensive coordinator, the team's going to be all right. The team's going to be all right, and I think they're going to be throwing the football down the field a lot more. And text line needs to stop about the Josh Simmons things. I hope he works out, man. I hope he's great. I'm just saying we got to be cautious about it. We don't want to crown anybody now without pads on. That'd be silly, wouldn't it?
I actually agree with you on this because I think that he's the starting left tackle. I think he's going to be given every opportunity to fail up in St. Joe, and I think the Chiefs' plan post-draft, we don't know how the draft's going to shake out. Post-draft, their plan is to get Josh Simmons on the field and make him their left tackle because he's a natural left tackle, all the things. But if I flash back, if I, you know on sports they do the whoosh noise and they do a flashback. If I did that to July 25th of 2024, Kingsley Suamataia walked in as the starting left tackle. I remember that was a really big story. When shorts and T-shirts were on, even when the pads came on, Kingsley was your starting left tackle. He held that job through camp, through the preseason, and almost through the second game of the season before he lost the job. So I actually agree with you. I take a little bit of training camp with a grain of salt because, especially that position, there's not really a live look at offensive line because of the way training camp works nowadays. But I do think Josh Simmons is the left tackle plan, but I am giving it only a grain of salt right now because Kingsley was the plan this time last year, and anyone in July that said, oh, they found their left tackle, found out very quickly they had, in fact, not found their left tackle because he was out quick.
I mean, you just have to be careful, like you said, man. I mean, last year, training camp, text line, everything, Kingsley Suamataia was the truth at tackle. I mean, you go back previous years, and Jody Fortson is the truth at tight end. You go back even further, Justin Ross, the truth at wide receiver. The Chiefs would be silly not to play him. Then dude couldn't even get on the field when everybody was injured for this team. Everybody, I mean, Rashard Smith's going to have some big-time plays. People go, hey, give this guy a look at running back 1 or running back 2. But Rashard Smith, he's going to be a role player with this team. But you got to be careful, especially crowning anybody before you put pads on. That does make a difference. That makes a difference in what you're doing. the physicality and everything. Yes, everything looks good so far. But if you want us to crown him and say, no, you know what? Brett Veach's best move, they found their left tackle for the future. He's the truth. You can't say that yet. You can't. The dude hadn't seen live action since last October. So you can't definitively say, yeah, this is the man. Well, you know what? We all look good in shorts. You put the pads on, it's a little bit different. Maybe he does. And I want to see it Sunday because if it works out, this could be Brett Veach's best move. And I hope it does because this is the cornerstone for the Chiefs. 4 top positions in the NFL, in my opinion, and left tackle is right there behind quarterback. Quarterback and left tackle. They've got their quarterback. They know what they're doing, but they haven't had a left tackle, but they've been able to get to the Super Bowl. They've been able to win it, hell, 3 times. So they've done it without it. Just saying, make it easier for them. They did it the hard way.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
Well, somewhere Drew Nixon is smiling because we got breaking news per Adam Schefter. Shamar Stewart has reached a contract agreement with the Cincinnati Bengals. The final first-round pick to not have signed his deal just signed with Cincinnati as a 4-year, $18.97 million contract, fully guaranteed, which includes $10 million of signing bonus. If you are a Bengals fan or you were enjoying the misery of the Bengals, the drama among Shamar Stewart and him is now over. The idea and the talk of him returning to A&M is now over. Yeah. It's all gone because Shamar Stewart has signed his contract.
And my question is why? You see Cowboys do this with Jerry Jones, with CeeDee Lamb, and with Dak. Why wait till last minute? If you're going to pay it, go ahead and do it. And Shamar's biggest hang-up was guaranteed. Everything, the first year, guaranteed. He wanted guaranteed. But congratulations, Cincinnati. I didn't like the pick, to be honest with you. Shamar Stewart, by the way, did you see he had 1.5 sacks last year. Now, I get it. Nick Scorton's production went way down from when he was Purdue when he transferred to A&M, right? There's something that goes on with edge rushers at A&M. They still do a good job with them. But at 1.5 sacks last year, congratulations, Cincinnati. If you knew you were going to pay him anyway, all the players thought you should pay him. And guess what? Trey Hendrickson wants some money too. Get that deal done because you need it for your defense because you lost Jermaine Pratt because you didn't want him. And now you're pissing off a guy that's led the NFL in sacks the last 2 years combined. And you lose your defensive coordinator that did know how to slow down Patrick Mahomes. Good job, Cincinnati. You now have the dubious distinction of signing the last first-round pick the last 2 years. Amarius Mims was drafted last year, last first-round pick to sign. Shamar Stewart, last first-round pick to sign. But why wait, Rob? I know they showed up at OTAs and stuff wearing a shirt and a hat. He didn't participate in anything. But if you know you're going to do it, why not just do it, man? Why are the Bengals so damn cheap, man? Why do they still have to walk across a road with traffic to their practice? Why do they have to do all that?
I do not know. We don't know. I don't know. There was the reports where there was language in the initial deal that Shamar Stewart didn't like and the Bengals wanted in.
He went all guaranteed.
We don't know the specifics of the language or who caved or who not, but I mean, it just the Bengals always seem to try to get, special contract language worked in. So it does, per Tom Pelissero, after a lengthy standoff, Stewart got improved payout language. So I don't think either side got exactly what they wanted, but they met in the middle, and now the Bengals' first-round pick is signed.
I wonder how much Burrow goes to him. Goes, man, come on, man. I can't keep doing this. Put up huge numbers last year. We didn't even make the playoffs. Jamar Chase gets the Triple Crown. Here you keep drafting players in the first round. Nowadays, if anybody's drafted by the Bengals, they're going to go crap. Despite what they do, when they get drafted by the Bengals, they're going to say, oh, crap, man. They're going to be playing around. They're going to be cheap. I mean, the Bengals have always been a cheap organization. This goes to show it. Oh, by the way, Rob, we have other breaking news.
The Drive. First to breaking news in Kansas City.
Well, we had Josh Verner, our Royals insider, on earlier, remember? He's in his little booth. And I said, is it raining in your booth? And he just gave me an update. Just straight from Vern's text. Tarp on the field, raining here. Now, it can be taken with good news.
That is not breaking news sounder worthy. What are you doing over there?
That's breaking news. It's raining at the K. We'd question, is it raining at the K? It is. Well, keep in mind, the game time's not till 7:10, so there's still time.
90 minutes for a first pitch, and you're playing the breaking news center about the tarp on the field.
Well, here's the deal,
Get out of here.
Do you honestly expect the game to start on time? Because the tarp's still on it now, buddy. They're going to be pushing this bad boy back, right? Right?
We do not know at this time.
They don't start it right away if they get tarp on now.
Tarp on the field breaking news sounder. Goodness gracious. Let's go to break. That was,
I got Scotty Scheffler breaking news. You want to do it again?
No.
We'll take a timeout then. We'll look at the more of the wide receiver stuff next.
Hey, it's Lucas Ursig from the Kansas City Royals. You're listening to The Drive with CDOT on 96.5 The Fan.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Hi there, I'm Charlie.
And I'm Carter. Our dad is Rex with Rex Buys KC.
If you're thinking about selling a home in Kansas City and don't know where to start, our dad can help.
Sometimes life throws curveballs, like moving for a new job, dealing with a divorce, or inheriting a house you weren't expecting.
Dad doesn't just make offers, he talks with people to help them understand all of their options. No pressure, and it doesn't cost anything to talk with his team.
He's a local home buyer who really knows Kansas City. If selling to him is the right choice, he'll give you a fair cash offer, and you can close on your timeline even in as little as 7 days.
He buys homes in any condition. No need for repairs, no fees, no surprises.
Just an honest, easy process so you feel good about your decision.
Want to talk to him? Call 816-330-6000 or go to rexbuyskc.com.
Rex Buys KC, helping people make smart choices one home at a time.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
Baseball fans, BetMGM is giving you the chance to win a prize every day during the baseball season. Step into the batter's box for BetMGM's Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. Log in every day for your chance to win. All you need to do is pick an area of the strike zone and take your best swing. If you get a single, double, triple, or home run, you'll receive a prize. Smash a home run to collect a bonus bet on us. Just log into your BetMGM sports account to get started. Then, visit your promotions section to access the Swing for the Fences free-to-play game. You'll score a prize if you hit a single, double, triple, or home run. There's nothing more exciting than going yard, so swing for the fences with BetMGM. BetMGM and GameSense remind you to play responsibly. See BetMGM.com for terms. 21 plus only. Kansas only. Existing customer offer. Subject to eligibility requirements. Rewards may vary. Bonus bets expire in 7 days. Please gamble responsibly. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In partnership with Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel.
Introducing the new Dell AI PC, powered by the Intel Core Ultra processor. It helps do your busy work for you, so you can fast forward through editing images, designing presentations, generating code, debugging code, summarizing meeting notes, finding files, managing your schedule, responding to Jim's long emails, leaving all the time in the world for the things you actually want to do. No offense, Jim. Get a new Dell AI PC starting at $699.99 at Dell.com/AI-PC. How those ahead stay ahead.
Eat up, buddy. It's almost time for school. You take charge of your home. You take charge of your work. Don't forget to take charge of your gut health too with Nature Made probiotics. Nature Made has clinically studied probiotics that work with your digestive tract's natural bacteria, so you won't miss a beat in your daily routine. Find us in the vitamin aisle. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These products are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Chiefs coverage on 96.5 The Fan is brought to you by Twin Peaks.
Tune in to exclusive Chiefs training camp coverage live from St. Joe on 96.5 The Fan. All access player and coach interviews that you can only hear on 96.5 The Fan. Chiefs training camp coverage is sponsored by Twin Peaks. Eats, drinks, scenic views.
Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Brought to you by Twin Peaks. You got a wreck in Grandview. 49 southbound at Maine. The right lane is blocked. Headed out near Blue Springs. That's a stall. 70 eastbound before Sterling Avenue. The right lane blocked. From the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
Hey Kansas City, it's Michael Waka. Welcome into The Drive with Carrington Harrison on your home for Royals baseball. 96.5 The Fan.
And welcome back to The Drive. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton producing the operation. If you missed the breaking news that Rob had, Shamar Stewart. A lot of you retired the story to be done, the holdout, whatever. He signed his contract. Last first-round pick, Shamar Stewart, signed by the Bengals. Makes 2 straight years. They were the last team to sign their first-round pick. So congratulations, Cincinnati. That defense still sucks. Good luck with Shamar Stewart, the first-round pick with 1.5 sacks last year. Good stuff. But anyway, the Royals in Cleveland tonight. Michael Waka on the bump for the Royals. Chris Bubich and Noah Cameron going for the Royals. And really, I think it's interesting because Bubich and Cameron, that's been why this pitching staff's where it's at. Chris Bubich being as good as he is, back into the rotation, having the kind of year he's having, making the All-Star game. Now, every single starter in the Royals roster has been to the All-Star game now that Bubich is gone. So that's good. Noah Cameron just destroying things, coming out of St. Joe, just been one of the best, put up against anybody, any rookie, anybody out there, how good he's been for the Kansas City Royals. Vern's on Deck show starts at 6 o'clock. And according to Vern, who texted me, the tarp is on the field. Now, it's still a long time before game time, but that's straight from Vern and Vern's little booth out there. One of the things for the Chiefs, I mentioned the wide receivers that, I'm still – let's watch the linemen because with the pads coming on, Josh Simmons, the dude to watch. Jalen Moore, I would see this offensive line. I certainly see Kingsley at left guard, but these wide receivers, because with Mahomes airing it out, it's different. As I mentioned, the Chiefs finished 31st in the NFL in air yards at 25 yards or more in receptions with 6. Miami and Arizona were last with 5. I believe that with Tyreek Hill in Miami, they were dead last. So that's where it was with that. But regardless, see what the Chiefs can do with the wide receivers. And so far, so good. I mean, even Nate Taylor, even back end. If they keep 7 receivers, I think they're going to keep 7. They kept 7 last year. The last 2 years, they've kept 7. They kept 5 3 years ago. But Taekwon Thornton, the guy that's second-round pick, is pick 50. This is his redemption. This is his second chance with Kansas City. And we've seen that work out with players before. We've seen that work out real well. And I don't know what New England does to people. Don't forget, Juju left here, went to New England, was injured all the time, wasn't good. Comes back to Kansas City, was serviceable. He's back here with the team this year. Taekwon Thornton, of course, the guy I'm talking about that was former pick 50, second-round pick for the New England Patriots a couple years ago. And, of course, Juju, by the way, was at the same draft class as Patrick Mahomes. But here's Nate Taylor, our Chiefs insider, and, of course, the Chiefs insider on ESPN as well. Will Taekwon Thornton make the Chiefs wide receiver roster?
The biggest winner so far, if you were to give this person immunity for Monday or Tuesday, that would be Taekwon Thornton. It's a wrap, guys. Healthy. He keeps playing the way he's been playing at practice. He is on the roster. He is a legitimate outside receiver. He is, and I've asked, I think add Taekwon Thornton to the roster in like December. You know, he's not going to play. But the whole point was like, can you be better than Justin Watson? Or can you be a different version of Justin Watson from what we've seen over the last couple of years? Well, through the first week of camp, he's proven it. I don't need to see any more outside of just, hey, let's see it in the pass, let's see it in the preseason game. You're a veteran receiver. Mahomes, I think, really, really likes him.
Say it again, Nate. Say it to the guys in the back. Say it to Rob Britton. Taekwon Thornton. Are you crowning him my camp guy? Are you crowning him my camp guy?
No one has talked about Taekwon Thornton more than you.
No.
Yes, he's your camp guy. Come on now. He's your camp guy.
I'm kind of the leader of the fan club. So anyway, Taekwon Thornton there. Nate likes him. So, hey, Nate likes him. But don't forget.
Nate likes him to make the roster. He doesn't like him like you like him. You think he can contribute. Nate likes him like Justin Watson.
Yeah, but he says Mahomes likes him, right? How much does Mahomes like his wide receiver room? He was on a podcast with Kay Adams, and he talked about his wide receiver room.
You won 15 games with a banged-up team, not your number one wide receiver, full complement. In that receiver room, what are you most excited about, outside of hopefully health?
I think it's just going to come from everywhere. I mean, obviously, you got Rasheed being back. He looks great. You have Xavier Worthy, who came on so strong at the end of last year. You have Hollywood Brown healthy again. Guys everywhere. You add in Travis Kelce, a Hall of Famer, Noah Gray, a great tight end, and everybody that we've added to all those different rooms. Well, we have so many weapons. Let's go out there and just maximize it all. It's not going to be just one person. It's going to be the entire offense going out there and showcasing what the Kansas City Chiefs truly are.
There's a lot of, they did this, free agency, draft, the other teams in the AFC, and I'm like, okay, but the Chiefs are like, I honestly think it might be your deepest receiver room. Would you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I think it is going to be the deepest. I mean, it's hard to always say, like, you had Tyreek and Travis Kelce, Hall of Famers in the prime of their careers, and that it's hard to always say that it could be deeper than that, but at the same time, it's not the depth. I mean, it's going to be hard to make cuts because we have so many great receivers that we could be 8, 9 deep, the guys I can see making the roster, and that's what you want. You want competition, and we have that. Brett Veach, Coach Reed have done a great job of bringing guys in, and they've been competing, and we're excited to get to St. Joe, Missouri, and go out there and compete and showcase who we are.
And you're going to get to see him. The nation's going to get to see him, as Warren Sharp puts out there, looks analytically at all the schedules in the NFL. The Chiefs, the first team ever to have 5 primetime games within the first 8 weeks. No team has ever had that many primetime games within the first half of an NFL season. That belongs to Kansas City Chiefs as the NFL continues to use them as ratings gold. Proof is in the pudding. They do it. That's why they have 5 games in the first 8 weeks of the season in prime time. And by the way, if you're going to St. Joe, which I know a lot of people have, hell, there were people waiting at 2 a.m. in the morning a couple of days ago. Hey, don't go up there tomorrow. And I know you didn't get to go up there today because they rained the Chiefs still practiced, but you couldn't watch it. But you know what? They've had that day off. They're putting the pads on Sunday. You're thinking about when to go? That's the day to go. You know, they block things off, and like the receivers will do autographs one day, that unit of receivers after practice, or defensive linemen, linebacker, secondary, whatever. It's the whole team. I don't think I've ever seen that with the full team autograph session. So if you're making a choice of when to go to St. Joe, the freaking pads are coming on Sunday, man. That's a good time to get some evaluation, as I mentioned. If you have kids with you, whatever, they want autographs or whatever, full team type doing that after the game. So, yeah, if you're heading up I-29 to St. Joe, Sunday would be the day to do it. They only have 3 practices on weekends. Or they have this one, and then they have 2 the following weekend as far as Chiefs camp. But regardless, we'll wrap the show up, and Scotty Scheffler did reveal something, and also Happy Gilmore debuts today.
You're listening to The Drive with Carrington Harrison.
For the first time in a long time, I'm willing to dream that this can be a special season for the Missouri Tigers.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this. 96.5 The Fan.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
There's nothing like when you get that part from eBay and it just fits. Yeah, the first time. so you can do less of this and get right back to more of this. At eBay, you'll find all the parts you need, guaranteed to fit, at prices you'll love. Sounds good, doesn't it? eBay, things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
Hey, it's Gold, and Circa Millions and Circa Survivor are back with a massive $21 million in guaranteed prizes. Circa Million, pick 5 games against the spread each week, 126 ways to win with $6 million guaranteed. Circa Survivor, 1 pick a week, no point spread, last the longest to win it all. $15 million guaranteed. Enter in Nevada, play from anywhere, $21 million guaranteed. Visit circasports.com for details.
Call Aspen Lawn and Pest Control. Our iconic blue trucks and expert team get it right the first time. Award-winning full-service lawn care and pest control since 1985. Call today for a free estimate. Visit aspenlawn.com.
GiveMeTheVin.com is already the best place to sell your car, and now it's even better with the GiveMeTheVin.com Big Cash Giveaway. Give Me the Vin is giving away $25,000 in cash every month. Sell us your car to increase your odds of winning big cash. No purchase necessary. For official rules, go to GiveMeTheVin.com.
Hey folks, I've got a couple of important questions for you. Do you know how much money you need to retire? Do you have a plan in place for your loved ones? If your answer is no, it's time to get your financial planning on track with UMB Private Wealth. It's never too late to start. Plus, their team supports you at every step of the planning process. Go to umb.com/private wealth to schedule your appointment. That's umb.com/private wealth. Why not start today?
The wait is over. The new Omaha Steak Store is now open at the Fountains in Overland Park. Shop now for 50% off store-wide and enjoy delicious doorbuster deals starting at just $19.99. Join us July 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. for our grand opening celebration. The first 500 customers will win autographed Chiefs gear or tasty Omaha steak prices worth up to $199. Plus, enjoy free samples and snap a pic with Casey Wolf or the Chiefs cheerleaders. Stop by Omaha Steaks at the Fountains in Overland Park today.
Only $39 for an AC tune-up. Book now at themvpkc.com. MVP Air Conditioning, Heating, Plumbing, and Electric is your home's MVP this summer. Get a summer AC tune-up for just $39 and avoid costly repairs. Call today, 913-214-1212, or visit themvpkc.com. MVP, one call does it all.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Welcome to AutoZone. What are you working on today? Hey, that's the spirit. Right now, we're celebrating free with a free STP oil filter when you buy 5 quarts of oil and free Duralast brake pads when you buy 2 rotors. Like always, free battery testing, charging, and recycling at every store. Celebrate free at AutoZone, now through July 28th.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Brought to you by America's largest pickleball festival, PickleCon. PickleCon will feature 100 courts, 3,000 players, 80-plus vendors, with something for everyone. Youth tournaments, charity games, and parties that glow. PickleCon, August 7th to 10th. Register at picklecon.com.
You're listening to 96.5 The Fan from the Mission Plumbing, Heating, and Cooling Studios. Here's traffic, brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember, Mike's got this.
Still working that 2-car crash out east at 70 westbound just before Blue Ridge cutoff. The right lane is blocked. Down on the Kansas side of things, K10 eastbound as you approach 435 southbound. The right lane blocked there from the Anthony Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, Electric Traffic Center on Val 96.5 The Fan.
This is 96.5 The Fan, your home for Chiefs football.
Welcome back, 96.5 The Fan. Jay Binkley, Rob Britton producing the operation. The Royals tonight against Cleveland. Josh Vernier takes it over here at 6 o'clock. Vern's on deck show. Nobody better in the business than one Josh Vernier. I guess the tarp was on there for a while. Don't know if it still is. It was in there earlier, according to Vern. We'll see if it's still on there. Rob, you a golf fan?
Am I a big golf? Yeah, I mean,
I love it.
I prefer playing to watching, but I watched the majors. Me and Drew were back here last week watching the British. It was
one thing about Drew.
enjoyable.
Drew's good at everything, man. NASCAR, golf. I mean, I can talk to Drew about anything, right? And I will. But do you remember what happened at the British Open? Right?
I do. I know what you're going to reference.
This was on a European broadcast, and there was people didn't know where it came from. It's the #1 golfer in the world. It was Scotty Scheffler, and he was on the tee box, or he hit the ball, and it sounded like to me it came from the crowd. This is how it sounded.
Scheffler. Oh my word. What are you laughing about? There's so much to say about that shot. The sound off the club face. Oh, it's extraordinary. Let's stick to the golf. Just a little bit of wind from behind.
Just a little bit of wind from behind. That's a polite way to say it in Europe. When you heard that, Rob, because I know it made the rounds on radio and everything else with that broadcast over there. I mean, we played all. We'd think it was Scotty. We're like, someone from the crowd or something like that did it. Maybe it was one of the broadcasters. I don't know. Did you, in your wildest imagination, blame Scotty at all? Thinking, all right, the #1 golfer in the world, just let it rip.
I mean, this seemed like when it initially happened, I legitimately thought to myself, it's just probably like, the club noise, something funny. There's the gallery at these events there's boom mics everywhere. There's hundreds and hundreds of people. I understood the joke on social media about it being Scotty, but I never really gave much value to. Oh man, can you believe it was Scotty Scheffler?
I didn't think so, man. Like, I didn't think it was Scotty at all. And he's like, well, you know what? You play the soundbite, and you're like, yeah, keep in mind Scotty did hit it, but I don't think it was him that did it. Well, he clarified it today. What was he on? Was it Barstool he was on?
He was on Pardon My Take today.
Pardon My Take today that he was on, Scotty. So he cleared up what exactly happened. This is straight from the guy that hit the ball.
Scheffler.
There you go. That's what it sounded like, right? So here's Scotty explaining that.
I'm trying to remember what hole it was. I think it was the 17th. Did you fart?
Oh. Yeah, that was me.
Was it?
Actually? Oh, yeah, that was me.
That's actually a great question, right? I mean, you got the #1 golfer in the world there, and you asked, did you fart? And he could have brushed it off. He could have changed the subject. But you know what he did, Rob? He did like every respectable human being would and said, yeah, I did. Does it change your opinion on Scott Scheffler at all?
No.
I mean, he doesn't look as boring, does it? Because people keep saying he's boring. I like Scotty Scheffler. I think he's awesome.
I think he's still boring. He's a great golfer. Don't get me wrong. Incredible golfer.
Incredible.
Boring guy.
But you didn't find that, he's being honest, right?
I mean, he's honest. Doesn't make him exciting.
But I think this helps, though, man.
Like, did you see his kid? His kid seemed like, been here, done that. I've seen some of these trophies in the house. I don't care. Scotty Scheffler is if there is an athlete right now that someone driving around to the K or whatever thinks about it, like, oh, that man's all business. Scotty Scheffler is more business than that athlete you're thinking of. He's the most all business athlete we might have.
No, he is, but he admits that. Here's the #1 golfer in the world, just won his 4th major. That was me. I think it humanizes the guy. And keep in mind, this guy's been winning everything. When he was playing in the Texas League and the PGA, he won 70% of the tournaments he's in.
He's the closest thing to Tiger we've seen.
He is. He just wins everything. He's fun to watch. He just dominates. He's got that. If he's in the leaderboard, just 1 or 2 strokes behind at the end, he's going to win it. And when he doesn't win, he finishes in the top 5. He's always there. But you know what? He just ripped one like the rest of society. You know what? And he claimed it. Just like all those people that say they don't pee in the pool, but they actually do. Scotty's the type of guy that would say, yeah, I do. I mean, he's that type of guy that would do that. A lot of people, even James, that'll be in here producing for Vernon tonight, seen Happy Gilmore already. Couldn't wait to see it. I know a lot of people are wanting to see this. Heck, Mom texted me, how do I get Netflix and all this? Because Happy Gilmore 2 with Adam Sandler is going to be on tonight. Happy Gilmore 1 was awesome. I hope this lives up to it. But Kelsey's in it. So obviously Chiefs fans want to see it. And it's released on the same day that Caddyshack was released 45 years ago, Rob.
Hopefully it's better than Caddyshack 2, because Caddyshack 2
was
trash.
Bad. It was bad. Most sequels are. You going to watch it with your wife tonight?
It is on the agenda for this weekend.
Good.
Not tonight, but it's on the agenda.
It's on my agenda, too, at some time. I don't know when, because I want to see the Royals, but maybe I'll stay up late. Maybe I'll watch Happy Gilmore, too. I don't know. Anyway, good night, everybody. Hope you had a good time. Josh Vernier, Vern's on Deck show against Cleveland next.
Ladies and gentlemen, the weekend.
The Drive with Carrington Harrison, your home for the best food takes in KC.
Regular old American nachos. You know, I don't need jalapenos with mine, just chips, cheese.
Brought to you by DM Injury Law. Have you or a loved one been in a car wreck? Contact DM Injury Law today and get the money you deserve. Car wreck? Remember,